I'm just gonna adjust the audio real quick to... Okay, the music is shut off. Alright. If you restart, you will lose all progress on this episode and later episodes. Are you sure you want to start the episode? Yes, I am, because it's a different save slot anyway.
Oh, that's not bad.
So I don't really care. Plus, this one won't have all the copyright strikes.
Oh, Christ, that was a terrible 3 days.
Yeah, it really was. And I'm not the only one complaining about it. A guy that I watch who has 3 million subscribers, he had problems with the whole first series.
I mean, I believe YouTube can demonetize things, so they could have just demonetized that and allowed us to see it.
Yep. So, let me just intro. This week, on the Co-op Talk podcast, we have Monica, one of my mods.
Heyo.
Her first time on the podcast. And this is the first time we've heard your voice.
I think so.
Instead of you in the chat.
They normally just see my constant comments.
Yes, a constant stream, which I appreciate because it makes me look like I have an active chat. Even though I'm the tiniest YouTuber there could be.
Yes.
But yeah, we're excited. We're excited to have you here.
Check that you used like 11 to 1 million or something like that.
We'll see.
Fuck yes.
Everybody had to start somewhere, right?
Pretty much. Unless of course you do what most other YouTubers are doing, which is make a viral video and then suddenly you jump from like 5,000 to like 50,000.
Yeah, exactly. Like out of nowhere.
No trespassing.
So I think you're gonna have to do like some sort of cringe tube era like viral video to really get like up there.
Is that what it takes? You gotta sacrifice some dignity?
Of course, there is no dignity in television, just more monies.
I don't know. I think there's a backlash going on to people who did the same stuff that they're doing, and I think we're rolling back to the classic times, I think. But I don't know. This isn't about me. Since we're already on the topic, what do you think is the next step for gaming on YouTube and in general? Like, where are we going?
Well, I'm not so much a part of the gaming community as I am a part of the vlogging, the news, and the makeup community. What I've noticed is sort of a throwback to a more organic period in YouTube where like you could actually trust that someone was putting out information or putting out a product or putting out any sort of item and you knew they actually liked it. And I think that's one of the main reasons why many social media places, they force you to put something like hashtag ad. And when people see that, you can't really tell if they genuinely like it. Like, all right, you say this video game or this system or this company is so great that they're paying you. So are they really that great, or is the paycheck really great? So I'm starting to see, especially within the makeup community, a lot of people are going back to those who are showing things like, oh, here's my receipt, I bought this myself, and I can say, honestly, I like it, or I don't like it.
Yeah, it's like an honesty that's missing. I think being genuine, we've lost that, I think. Would you agree?
I feel like it, and it's not just the filters, and it's not just, like, whoever is putting it out, all these young kids or whatever anyone wants to complain about. It's just that there's so much smoke and mirrors, there's all of these non-disclosure contacts. You don't really know how authentic someone is when they give an opinion. And that was something a lot of people really liked about YouTube originally. You can make a quick video on your webcam, or like us, we're putting out a podcast, and it's uploaded within the next hour or so, and before that was just something that you could like look forward to and that you could trust.
Yeah, right. Like I remember just waiting for some of these people that I used to watch, like just waiting for them to upload, knowing that they weren't doing it as a job, that they had lives, that they were just like family people, whatever, or just college people, and they were going through life just like you. It's like they weren't like these celebrities. You know, and now these YouTubers are like put on a pedestal.
They are. And a lot of people will trash them for their lifestyle, but if I can make a living and be my own boss and all I have to do is just put out so much content in a week, I mean, I'd go for it, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Exactly.
But at the same time, like, I don't know, it's just a different type of celebrity that we're just not used to.
Yeah, and I think so much of it has been exposed that made them that way. Right?
Now I remember why I'm here.
Yeah. I read somewhere that you can even buy, like, Instagram followers.
That's
like,
right.
you can Google it right now. Type it in, and for, like, $50, you can get a couple thousand, and then from there, real Instagram followers will follow you, and it's like a snowball effect.
Because they go on the algorithm. If they see somebody's getting a lot of followers, you start popping up.
Yeah.
On, like, suggested. It's, I forget what they're called. I think it's like follow farms or something like that. They literally have hundreds of smartphones with bot accounts adding people.
Yeah, I don't know the exact name, but, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure they can be called a ton of things. Follow farms, bot accounts, anything. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still they're false accounts. And, I mean, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, they can keep saying that, oh, we're tracking them, but at the same time, like, these farms are pushing out thousands of profiles in half seconds, quarter seconds, nanoseconds. And I just don't believe that Facebook or Instagram would create a system that was large enough that could track them all.
This is the old mill, right? I heard
It's just out of control, and YouTube. I'm not going to blame the YouTuber for the lifestyle they're living, the lifestyle that was able to be what was I saying? Sorry, John just said something in the chat. What's going on, John?
Hey, John.
Can you hear us okay, man? He said some kind of domestic violence going on. It's getting pretty loud. Sounds like stuff is getting tossed.
Oh, damn. You may, you want to call someone? Put an anonymous tip? It's how people get killed.
Yeah. No snitching, though. No snitching, though. Right?
Yeah, no snitching. Just give an anonymous tip. That's all it is, Only you can prevent death from your neighbors.
Perfect. He said he can hear us loud and clear.
Fab.
But, yeah, I'm not going to blame the YouTuber. It's YouTube's fault, if anything. Let's see. We're doing the Backtalk Challenge. More clear than this public disturbance. He can hear us.
Perfect. I mean, I'm hoping you're not, like, in the same room as them, because if you are, you may need to do something.
You might have to slap somebody.
Might have to throw your weight around. You're the alpha, John. You're the alpha. Take him down.
Oh, John, totally. It sounds like a lover's quarrel, he said.
Okay, so when you said it sounds like domestic violence was going on, I genuinely thought John was talking about us, and I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about. What are we doing? We're just chatting.
The lady sounds drunk, he said. I feel bad for her boyfriend and kid. Oh, do cute. I'm Chloe. Do I look cute to you?
Yeah, I'm Chloe, and I say hello. So, funny thing, I hung out with a friend, and he's from Cali, and he said hello, like, all the time.
Ugh.
I just couldn't help it laugh. So, like, just kind of replace any time a New Englander says wicked, he said hello.
Ugh. Did you watch the playthrough? Finally?
Yeah.
Okay, so you see that Rachel was the one who got her using that.
flowers on her
And I always think it's funny because that is something that West Coasters do. I lived in the West Coast for almost 2 years, and they say hella all the time. Like, as often as we say wicked, they say hella.
So, I'm playing this
Is your boss your mom?
game,
Follow up.
Life is Strange,
Do you live in your boss's basement?
and you seem to really like it. You used to, like, ask me when I was going to play the next episode of the first series and stuff.
Yep.
Why do you like it so much? Why are you drawn to it?
Don't care.
Well, I'm drawn to it like I'm drawn to, like, most, like, other games in a similar fashion. I like the story. I like that it's very interactive. Like, yeah, I'm not playing it, and I'm not even in the same room as you. I'm watching a live stream, but, like, the fact that I'm able to interact and there is a flow. It's not like, you know, like other, say, Mortal Kombat games. You just go through, you fight, and that's kind of it. This one, there's a progression. You can get attached to the characters. You can, you know, kind of make jokes about how they are and how they're going to act. And I find that really interesting. Watching a long-winded book or movie play out in front of you, you know?
True. I mean, it is. It is very much like a... I don't know how to say it, because it's like teenage-driven. So it's almost like those old movies, but it's edgier. Those old, like, teenage movies. It's not quite... It's not quite, you know, it's not PG-13, for sure.
No,
you know, with the language and murder and stuff. It's like... It's such a weird demographic. Like, it's an all-teenage cast, practically. But it's...
What's her name?
You know, I'm a 29-year-old guy playing it. Playing a game where you're teenage girls.
And
So,
you find it interesting.
isn't it funky?
You know?
Yeah.
And I think part of it is also because, like, these teenagers, they're not so, what's the word I'm looking for, like, stereotypical. You can kind of see yourself in them, like, who didn't want to sneak out of the house to go see a show? We just didn't have the balls to do it. Who didn't want to, like, act tougher than they were, use, like, their sass to get into a place?
Absolutely.
Damon Merrick again? Who is this guy?
So, like, I also feel like these characters, they're kind of like their Mary Sues, so you can kind of project yourself onto them.
Totally. I mean, even being a guy, I can still relate to this so much. Like, it didn't matter that Max is this, you know, frail teenage girl.
Feel less.
Yeah.
I could still see a lot of myself at that age, specifically in her.
Yeah.
A lot. So much.
Sweet knife.
And
Just like the one my mom
a lot of Chloe and some people that I knew at the time too, and I'm sure you do too.
Oh yeah, exactly. But I feel like we should also add like that little asterisk that you know, if Max or Chloe or Rachel or any of these other characters were really like super feminine or super like hardcore masculine, you may not even be able to like enjoy it as well. Kind of like what's that horror game? Like, you love horror games, but like, have you ever played like Lollipop Chainsaw?
No, I've seen some of it though.
Okay, so you understand like the basis, you know, this girl, she's in high school, blonde, you know, wears skimpy outfits, she hunts zombies, super girly. Like, you could play the game, and it's a fun game, and it's an easy game to play, but like, you wouldn't be as invested in the main character because you don't really like, you can't relate to her. You're not blonde with big boobs and running around with like your boyfriend attached to your hip because he's just a head, you know?
Yes.
Like, he's literally attached to your hip if you didn't know that. Like, he's just this head for some reason. And, like, she carries him around, like, attached to her hip.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, totally high school you, right?
No, it's like, yeah, like, this is so relatable.
300 dock workers laid off, their pensions
It really
canceled.
It is.
Prescott's a real tool.
It also helps that, like, you were also a bit of a rebel. You liked rock music. You were artistically inclined, too. So there are a lot of traits in Chloe that you like.
True, true. But that leads me to my next question, actually, a follow-up to that. is, are you more of a Max or Chloe?
No thanks. I tried to avoid hepatitis, but I can't.
I feel like I'm more of a Chloe than a Max. Max is like this manic pixie dream girl. She's the Mary Sue with the special powers who can change life and fate. And she pretends she doesn't care, but goddammit does she care. I'm more of a Chloe. Rebellious, loudmouth, crass, obsessed with her best friend, that sort of thing.
I kind of felt like you would go that route.
Chloe?
Mm-hmm.
I know your name, you idiot. You bought pot for me every month for a year.
Yeah, I mean, when in reality most of us are all background characters.
You're trying to.
True, we're all in someone else's story.
What are you even
Pretty
doing
much.
here?
Pretty much.
None of us is the star.
They rock.
We're only the
Hey,
star
ask
of our own
John,
story.
Been here about this little.
Who does he see himself as?
John?
The
Yeah, what does he see himself as?
He said he feels like it wouldn't connect as well if it was a male main character. Okay, and now, John, who do you see yourself as? And he said he loved Lollipop Chainsaw.
I mean, it was a fun game. It was fun. It was different. Like, normally teenage girls, like, you get them and you force them to be, like, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But this one, she totally stays, like, super bubblegummy pop, hyperactive, fun, that sort of thing.
Okay, so you
She doesn't even get sad that the zombie apocalypse happened on, like, her birthday.
take the edge off.
Of course.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous looking game.
$175 you
Oh my god, it was so ridiculous. Come on, John, answer us. What are you? Are you a Max or are you a Chloe?
Quick cash around here. I can kiss my high goodbye.
So while
Never
he's
mind.
thinking of that, though, we can say, what is your background to video games anyway, in general? Like, what was it like? Were they part of your childhood, this and that, you know?
Not really much of a background. It was always my little brother that played video games. You know, I remember us being like, me being, how old? I was like 7, and he was about 3, or just turned 3. And we would sneak up to my uncle's room, and he had a Super Nintendo, and immediately Nick was drawn to playing that video game. Me, I thought it was kind of cool. You know, it wasn't really like my niche. So, like, when my uncle eventually gave that to Nick when he was old enough to understand the controls and play like, what was that game, like Super Mario World 1, 2, and 3, I would just sit there and I'd watch him, you know? Like, I mean, that was just kind of it. And then as Nick got older, what he wanted in video games became a little bit more complex, from the Super Nintendo to a Nintendo 64 that we got one Christmas, and you know, me getting into more racing games, like,
Victory.
I can't even think of the name of the racing games, but, you know, it was like Super Smash Brothers would be one of the games that I would play with him. I'd play various fighting games, but, like, I had no real skill. I was a button masher, and it pissed him off, like, to no end. Because here he is, he's practicing, and he's doing all these complex, like, 27 different movements, sort of, like, combos, and I'm breaking them by hitting X. And I'm just like, man, X.
Nothing sadder than a neglected bone.
But you'd still be, like, winning with that?
Yeah, I'd be winning with that, because that was like that short jab that, like, stunned you.
Oh.
And I can hear in the disgust in your voice, he absolutely hated it, because here he is, he's doing this massive combo, you know, 26 hit streak, 50 hit streak, 100 hit streak, and then I break it just by hitting the X button.
Fuck.
Yeah. So John answered, by the way.
Oh? Yeah, I see
He's
it.
more of a Max.
You okay?
No, he said he's more inclined to be Chloe.
You bumped into me, remember?
Yeah, so right here, despite my outward appearance, which seems to be more inclined to be Chloe.
He is more of a Max, though, he said.
Oh, there it is.
Fuck off, man.
Hey,
I can see that. I mean, I only met John in high school, so I'm pretty sure he's a lot different than what I remember in high school.
hey, let me know how that works out
She's
for
thinking
you, bitch.
automobile.
Mosh pit
Lamborghini.
Is a no-go. Fine.
Automobile?
Better view of the action from up above.
Had that for the N64, huh?
Yeah.
She returns.
Oh, I remember now. It was Mario Kart. Duh, that was so obvious. The Mario Kart 64 was what I would play with my little brother, and I always played as like Princess Peach or Toad for some reason.
I like Toad.
This is his place.
I like Toad a lot too.
When I
It
used
was
to
always
play,
fun. Oh, Yoshi. I loved Yoshi.
I used to play what we got as Super Mario Brothers 2 in the States. I used to be Toad all the time.
Yeah. And it's now coming back to me. My brother, the one game that he would play all the time was Super Mario Brothers 3. It was a great game. Didn't they just introduce like the Tanuki with that one?
See, I never played 3.
3 was so fun. You had all these different levels. Me, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get my Tanuki to fly. My brother's like, just run straight, and then you hop, and then you fly. And I'm like, I can't do it.
Whatever.
He says Mario Kart or Diddy Kong Racer. Toad had acceleration, but no top speed. And he always picked Biggity Bowser.
And you want to know what this also makes me think of? What I would always play, or what my brother would always play when we had friends over, was the Mario Party games. Like we had.
Oh, those are great.
Mario Party. Huh?
Those are great.
Those are so fun. Like we've had Mario Party up until like 5 or 6, and then we kind of stopped buying them.
Okay.
But I just always loved playing it because like you had like these mini games, you had these different ways that you could like win points, and like I don't know, that was super fun.
Yeah, see, like those are not about the graphics. It's all about just having fun.
Yeah. And I think that's how I am as like a game player. I'm not there to, save the world. I'm not there to, pretend to be Solid Snake. I'm not there to be Leon S. Kennedy. I'm just kind of there to like play and have fun. Like, like I just want to play for 20 minutes and I'm good, which kind of, always bothered my brother. He wanted a player too. And it's not fun playing those games without someone that's invested. But I only had the energy for like 20 minutes and I was done. Now, on the flip side of it is I love RPG games like Resident Evil 4 and upwards, Final Fantasy games, things like that. I'll sit there, I'll watch with you, I'll like help you look for items and things like that because of the fact that it captured my interest without me having to play. But it also allowed me to kind of interact too.
Unimpressed I am with limp
I was gonna say,
assholes who
you've talked about Resident Evil, you want me to play Resident Evil 4. Like, where did that come from? How did you get into Resident Evil in general?
Okay, so funny story. When Resident Evil first came out, my brother had just gotten his GameCube, and we really liked the idea of maybe playing like a more gorier game, and we were very surprised that the GameCube actually had a gory game because the joke, like you got your Xbox and that was for like the hardcore gamers, you got your PS2 or PS3 and that was for more like graphics and multi-purpose. Then it was like the 10-year-old kids who got like the GameCube.
Sure. And it's funny that they put those Resident Evils on there.
Yeah, I always thought that was hilarious, but no, Nick got the GameCube, and then we actually conned our cousin into buying the Resident Evil 4 game. We hadn't played any other Resident Evil game, and one of the main reasons was the first one, the second one, and the third one, and all the other ones like Code Veronica was just too puzzle heavy. It really didn't capture our interest. Like,
Rachel?
I remember in the first one, they're in the mansion in the woods. You have to unlock this door, but to get the key to this door, you must go to this other door and unlock a code from a painting that you saw. Rearrange the painting in order to go back to the other room to get the key. And then there are zombies, and like that wasn't really like intriguing to us. Like, of course, Resident Evil does have some puzzle action to it, but at the same time, like, it wasn't so puzzle-heavy that was all it was about.
No, you've got a great point there, because seeing, like, Part 7, where they've gone with it now, and how it's gone back to that loop around, figure the puzzle out, get the piece, put it back kind of thing, or code what kind of thing, it kind of doesn't attract me as much anymore to playing through a level and not backtracking. It seems tedious, and like I experienced that when I played Revelations, and I played Revelations after I played 5 and 6, and I went, okay, this is great that we're back to actually kind of scary and dark atmosphere, but it wasn't great in terms of going back to the same place over and over again, having to read the map, you know? It's like I'd rather actually go through a more linear experience, as long as they're not making you feel like it's linear.
Yeah. And John does have a great point that Resident Evil 4 was better because of the easier puzzles. That's a really good point, because you don't want to spend 20 minutes trying to get out of a room to a room from a room, you know? Like, yeah, have it be like mazes and puzzles and things to solve it. Don't make me have to go on GameFAQs at like 1 a.m. reading like a page and a half of like different things to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like, to the point where you just have to look it up, or have to get, back then, a strategy guide. You had to buy those.
Oh my god, those $30 strategy guides. And if you didn't want to pay for the strategy guide because, you know, we're 16, 15, 14, you would go on GameFAQs, or you would find some friend's cousin who had it and then borrow it or something.
That's exactly what I would do. Friends of mine, I would borrow it from them. Borrow the strategy
my brother
guides.
and his friends, they would have like, I don't know what you would call, what they called it then, but they had like this little pool, like, all right, so this person's going to get this video game, so when he's done, we're going to borrow it, and then we're going to get the game, the game magazine, and then this person, he's going to get this game, and then they'll just kind of like trade in a circle.
Exactly.
And it was kind of funny, because that was when games were still not too expensive. They were like $30, $40, then the massive price hike.
Sometimes all I want to do is shut
Oh, they've always stuck around, 60 to 40 new games, I think, coming out. But it's just not feasible when you're like 10 years old.
Yeah, no, it really isn't. Yeah. Oh, we have a person, Gumball Watterson.
Because I'm a very small YouTuber who doesn't have anybody else chatting, but I appreciate that you actually joined in.
And, normally I'm the one that's also chatting in, but now I'm on this live stream.
Exactly. Or you would be there too. Because I'm a loser. John says.
And you want to know something? I feel like Resident Evil 4 really also changed like the zombie horror aspect, because before it was a lot of puzzle. Similar to how like Halo kind of revolutionized shooting games, I feel like Resident Evil 4 kind of brought it back to like everyone,
so
if that makes sense.
Would you say that's your favorite? Or what is your favorite Resident Evil game?
4, definitely 4. 4 brought me into the RPG genre. It got me into the simple puzzle-solving genres, and then from there it went to, like, Devil May Cry. That was another game series that I really liked up until 4.
Better change clothes.
Yeah. It's a great one.
Yeah, I really liked Devil May Cry 3. That was the one that I actually played myself, not so much me sitting there and watching other people play. That one was actually fairly easy, so I hear, like, the popularity tends to go, like, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and then DMC is the last.
And I don't think many people like that.
Really was Rachel Amber.
Do they?
From what I heard, they really changed a lot of Dante's character. They changed a lot of, everything that people liked about Dante. Dante was this white-haired, sarcastic, gave no shit, sort of half demon, half human, and they kind of like stripped him of most of that.
Well, John says he loved DMC.
I'm starting to doubt your taste in video games.
Oh, no. You're doubting it.
Yeah, I'm doubting it, because I really didn't like DMC. Every other game was great and decent. Like, 2 was kind of meh. Like, everything else was great. DMC was just, I don't know. It just didn't do the origin story well. We never had an origin story for Dante or Virgil or anything involving their younger years, and they could have made this like anything, and the fans would have flocked to it. But no, ever since they released DMC, nothing else has come from it. That's saying a lot about a very popular series. Like, look at Resident Evil. They just released 7. So there's 7 games, and then there's about 3 to 4 different subsets of the Resident Evil games.
There's a freaking lot. I lost track at this point.
Yeah. And not just the console games. I'm pretty sure there's a couple more that you can play like on your phone and on the Nintendo 3DS, things like that. Bye, Gumball.
Thanks. Appreciate it, man.
Mm-hmm.
He said he'll leave a like.
Yeah, leave a like. Oh, look, there's Austin sauce.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yes.
Austin sauce?
Yeah.
What is Austin sauce up to if Austin sauce is still there?
Mm-hmm.
And what is an Austin sauce? Is that some kind of Texas barbecue sauce? Is it delicious?
You know, I wouldn't doubt it if Austin, Texas had their own special sauce.
Oh, I bet. There must be millions of special sauces.
So many barbecue places, so many places to get a good margarita.
I want to go to Austin, Texas.
I liked Austin, Texas. I really liked Houston and Dallas and San Antonio.
DMC4 was great because it let me switch the styles, John says.
That is a good aspect of it. A lot of the games were obviously very Dante focused. I like that. A lot of people were, when they saw the previews for it, they thought that Nero was like Dante and Virgil's long lost brother, which really would really fuck up the continuity of the storyline.
Used to dream of riding a unicorn as a kid.
So he says, I loved Devil May Cry 3, but I didn't like going to the item shop to switch styles.
Jake, turn on the poster. Break it.
Yep, I'm doing it. I didn't do it last time, but I did it in the collector mode, and I found this graffiti.
Chloe's so dark. Edgy.
This time I'm going to write something else, though.
Okay.
Everything's worth a shot.
So we've talked about Resident Evil being on like 1 million consoles and mobile ports, and it's on everything. Resident Evil 4 in particular. But
same with the Final Fantasy series too.
Oh, yeah. Part, what is it, 15? There was a mobile phone game that I played just to get coins for my Walking Dead game. I leveled up for like a week just to get coins. I'm a cheap fuck.
Yeah, just to get the coins. Hey, if you have coins, Khajiit has wares.
But, Mr. Sharky, hey. Fun fact, shark babies eat their siblings in the womb. Maybe that's why I'm an only child. Good one, Chloe. Alright, let me change my clothes, but my question is...
Yeah.
What is your favorite console? Think about this carefully. Think about this carefully. No, go with your heart.
I have always been a fan of the PS console.
Yes?
And the one that I love the most, and I'm sure everyone else does, is the PS2.
Yeah?
That was the one that I played the most video games on, that I felt like had really amazing graphics for its generation of consoles. And I also really liked that it had other aspects to it. So like my mom was always like, you know, you have all these consoles. You got your N64, you got your Super Nintendo, you have all of this, right? But you like what else does it do? And I believe that was the first one that had like a little DVD player in it too, and it had an external memory card that you can put in and take out to, you know, save your games, which was always nice. And I believe like they kept making PS2 games well within a year or two of the PS3 coming out also.
They kept pumping them out.
Yeah. Oh, hey, we got a new person, Jimmy's Boogerface.
Jimmy's Boogerface. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the podcast, where I have my mod Monica on this second episode.
Where's my phone?
second episode that you're redoing. We need to specify that you're actually redoing.
This is a redo.
So you know exactly what you're doing.
This is a redo because of copyright claims of this episode of Life is Strange. Completely redoing it, doing different choices. Oh, hey, yeah.
Woohoo, new subscriber. You're on your way to 1 million.
Yeah. I mean, I just do this for fun. I'm just doing this because I genuinely love games.
Mom's hiding her gray hair to impress her boyfriend.
Oh, we got someone else. We got Unicorn Plays MSP.
I should dye my hair gray.
Notification Squad?
You know what? I tell you all goddamn time, you need to put a bell. You need to let your adoring fans know when you're going to be on.
If I got enough people, I will schedule. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
If people start reaching out saying when's the next stream and all that.
You know what? I'm asking now. When are you going to be playing Resident Evil 4?
From Arcadia Bay.
In a weird complimentary way, you don't count because you asked me because you've known me for like how many years? 12 years?
About. I met you when I was
It's all good.
at the cusp of 16.
Yes.
Supposed to be mine. If I'm ever stupid enough.
Jimmy, don't worry if you can't spell right. I can't speak right. It's okay.
Wait. Mom's selling her engagement ring?
It's all good, man.
I hate that
Yeah,
she
super
hides
good.
all the pictures of
But you had an interesting point about PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember how
I made this
like,
for Mom when I was like 10 years
how
old.
life-changing that console was when it came out? I feel like that put video games over.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I honestly felt like it. They had a lot of different types of games that you could play. It wasn't like, you know, like how when the third generation came out, people were always like, yeah, the Xbox is the kind of game that manly men play, and, you know, the PS4 is for those who want, like, all the gadgets, and, you know, the Nintendo is what the 10-year-olds want. Like,
Yeah.
no, I felt like the PS2 was a very well-rounded system. You know, they didn't have a specific company that only went here, only went there. They all wanted to be a part of the PS2 system and lineup,
Which of us is
you know?
Yeah.
hmm
And it was
Like, I
just
remember playing Dynasty Warrior games on there with my little brother, and
Oh,
then
yes.
when we were done doing that, he could play whatever other hack and slash game or RPG game or just shooter game, like
Did you,
Metal Gear Solid. I think that's where it really came like into itself
You
with
know,
the PS2 system.
Metal Gear 2 was the first time where I felt like a game was like a global phenomenon. Like everyone was waiting for it. You know what I mean?
I feel like it. I remember seeing
It
the
felt like a Michael
the
Bay film
advertisement.
was coming out.
Sounds like my phone is definitely
Mhm.
nearby.
Something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a
Yep.
massive action film. You remember the ads and stuff? You were saying?
I do. And didn't they film the ads like it was like they were movies? Like just like a first person camera, this guy low crawling in like the dirt, the rain, and the mud. And then like boom, Metal Gear Solid 2, and you're like, what? Is this a movie? It's Metal Gear. I'm like, no, it's a video game.
Jimmy is also a PlayStation person.
I was actually gonna say that. I think this whole chat right now is a bunch of people who are PlayStation people.
Well, you're in good company, Jimmy.
Don't
Mhm.
on yourself. A single spark can
Feel free to chime in your opinion. I know we're going at 100 miles a minute, but we'll stop to read your comment.
But PS2 in particular is like, it's such a weird era.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because there was like strange games, like John mentioned Killer 7, but he was talking about the GameCube, I think.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, I have to say, like, this is kind of, like, on me, but I really like the controllers for the PS2. They were the right size. They weren't massive. They didn't have, like, that weird middle stick thing like the N64 did. The one right in the middle.
That little yellow
Like-
one, that nipple.
Mm-hmm. The one that, like, if you had to use it a lot, like, it calloused your hand and, like, you cramped up.
Yes. I feel you, John. PS2 and GameCube were his favorites, too. And I can say GameCube as well because my sister had one. She got it for Christmas. And she
Um,
bought the PS2 a little after it came out, and my oldest brother got his at launch,
mhm.
but he only played like Madden. That's all he wanted it for.
Yeah.
And then my sister would be more into the story games, you know?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
into the soccer and the Madden games and stuff.
And then I remember like the big hoopla with the Wii. Like when it came out, it was sold out for like
Oh,
months
yes.
at a time.
True.
My mother had to bribe my cousin to go buy him one in Virginia because they weren't getting sold out as fast as like here.
Wow.
I think I saw Mom's purse in her room.
That's crazy. All the way down there?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was sort of a gift from like mom, dad, aunt, and uncle, like together pitching in to try and find him the system. But I remember it was like this big thing, like, oh man, motion control. It's gonna be like, I don't know, virtual reality. Meh, meh, meh.
Yes. Right. When really it's never as good as they say.
Yeah. And I mean, it is fun and it does get you up and moving, which I really think was the main purpose of them developing something like that with like the little nunchucks. But at the same time, like, it didn't stop you from using it like a normal controller. And like, although the concept was cool and was nice, like, they still made attachments that would require you to not have to move.
True. They made it like so it could be a little controller. It could be like a more traditional controller.
Yeah.
If
But I
you
do
wanted to.
appreciate the backwards compatibility because my ex, he wanted the latest Metal Gear Solid game,
Yes.
but he had to keep his PS3 and PS4 out in the same spot because there was no backwards compatibility.
Oh, that's how I feel about my PS3 because I don't have a PS4 that has it.
But it's
Mhm.
pretty clear her boy toy, David, hasn't worked in like a year.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. They want you to get this new thing and they want you to keep using this new thing, but like, I don't know. No backwards compatibility, like really? Like, I don't want to keep 16 different gaming stations open. Like, damn
know.
it.
I don't have the space. My PS3's been unplugged since December 25th of 2016.
Yeah.
I'm a late joiner.
What was that?
I'm a late joiner to the PS4, as everybody knows.
And it's
Oh,
expensive.
Jimmy says he loved PS2. It was his first console, and he loved Crash Bandicoot.
I love Crash Bandicoot. That was a fun game,
Oh,
too.
definitely. I remember when the third one was coming out, I believe, and that was like huge.
You know, I've yet to meet someone who didn't have an amazing, like, opinion of Crash Bandicoot. I think it just bridged all ages, gaps, and, like, everything.
God, that what's the hardest level in that called again?
Max and I spelled
It's the
I
pass. It's like a bridge
reason Mom hasn't
Mhm.
where you gotta keep jumping
Dad always talked
over and over on these planks that keep falling.
Mhm.
Aren't you glad
It's
you're
notoriously
back now,
difficult,
Max?
and they have it in the remastered game.
Mhm.
Only pick used to hang here.
It looks
Yeah, I
really
got
good.
nothing.
Wow. I can't actually remember which one.
I have to admit, they did a great job redoing that Crash Bandicoot, the Insane trilogy.
It's my job to
Yeah.
make these plans, but it was Dad's
Jimmy
fault.
just got a PS4 recently. Monica, you should follow suit.
Nobody's fault, really.
You know, I'm not the game player. I believe my little brother does have a PS4, so, yeah.
Shit doesn't
Come on.
But we lead separate lives now. I'm no longer hanging out with him doing homework while he plays the video game in the living room, okay? It's a little bit more difficult and complicated when you get older.
Just saying, we could actually play the games together.
Mom's keys.
Just saying, just saying.
Party at Jake's house, bring the Mountain Dew, code red.
Probably more to them than the ashtray I made Mom. Like he's home, maybe? Feeling trapped?
What game have you ever played the most though? What do you think?
The game that I've played the most would be like the Dynasty Warrior games
Oh,
because
God.
it had a storyline, but it was like a fighting game.
Did you get part 3?
What the hell just happened?
Yeah, we had part 3, and I had to say my favorite was part 4. I'm not sure if it was the graphics or the costumes, but I really loved part 4.
I suddenly want to get...
This is Principal Ray.
I loved part 3.
Let me be emphatic.
Mm-hmm.
I never had 4. I used to go over to my friend's house and play it.
Haven't really
Yeah.
like sitting down
But
to eat
I remember it being great too. But
Yeah,
part
I
3
loved-
I was obsessed with killing Lubu.
I was always a part of the Sun family, and I really liked these 2 girls. They were like the Zhao sisters, and they have these massive fans that you would fight with.
down
Yeah.
to the swear jar.
I
Yeah, I
remember
love
those,
that.
yes.
Versus on bus fare in the middle.
Oh, so good.
How can bacon sound
Mhm.
so good, but I'd still rather stuff these sugar bombs in my mouth.
Jimmy, what stinks is that I can't stream until dawn. I wish I could. I haven't gotten around to playing it because I can't stream it. Isn't that funny how my incentive is like, if I can stream it,
Pot roast?
then I want to play it?
Mom hates it.
Yeah.
Because I
mean-
don't want to play alone, necessarily. Not that I haven't. But just this being so accessible and having other people being able to join is so cool to me.
And I mean, it is a very interactive game, too. It's not like, oh, you're just kind of going through, there's no need for choices to be made, and it's not like a normal QuickTime event. These choices have consequences. It really stunk because when Jake tried to stream it, me and John were sitting in the chat and we're like, where's Jake, and he's going through and he's playing. And what was the issue, John? I think we couldn't hear him, or he couldn't see the chat, so I had to call Jake and
Yeah.
send him like all these text messages just to get his attention. And I'm like, Jake, we can't hear you and we can't chat with you. And he's like, what? I was curious why you guys were so quiet. And I'm like, yeah, we can't chat with you. No
Yep.
point.
Not able to stream it.
Mm-hmm. Although we did think of a stupidly roundabout way for you to be able to like stream and chat. It would involve him having like his phone out, reading the chat as it goes, and he's like, no.
Yeah. And also, if I had 1,000 subscribers, I'd be able to stream from my phone,
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. So indirectly, you know, if it was facing the TV, then I'd be able to have you guys watch. It was just like these janky ways. Yeah. You just fell, Jimmy? You okay? Rip. Ooh.
Oh no, Jimmy fell.
Are you selling your engagement?
But Monica,
What?
we've talked about in passing some of these awesome epic games. One of them you mentioned is my answer to this question. What's the first game that had an impact on you? Either like it elevated itself over just for fun and made you feel something, or it was like a high level entertainment, like a movie or a book, something that people seem to gravitate more towards as like a popular medium or a more viable medium than video games.
Mm-hmm.
What made you feel like that? What kind of game gave you that reaction where you're like, whoa, games can be just like movies or better, or had an impact on you?
I would have to say there's 2 different games, and the first one, I've already stated before, Resident Evil 4. The second one, you'd be surprised, which would be Dynasty Warriors 4, and I'll start with that one. Dynasty Warriors 4, like within the original game and within the original packaging, actually had this book that gave a little bit of a character synopsis, when before you were just so used to like, oh, that's this character, and that's kind of it. There's no background, there's no anything like that. So with Resident Evil 4, 1, it was a game that I could understand that I could play, and 2, it had a storyline to it, a very interactive and very like well-woven storyline, and depending on each campaign, you learned a little bit more about the characters and the person within that character. So like that one, and then another one obviously is Resident Evil 4. Before I'd watch my brother play like the usual puzzle, and that was kind of fun, but this one, it had a really good mixture of puzzle, action, violence, but not so gratuitous, which is funny to say because it's a zombie, it's a zombie game. You're shooting people in the face. But it wasn't just like gore. It was, I don't know, fun quips and corny little interactions. So those 2 really had a huge impact, that games were not just this sort of medium for, I don't know, boys to only play. It was a type of art form, and it was a creative outlet.
Well said. Well said. And do you, like, has any game, like this game in general, this game for me personally was the last game that had like an actual impact. I feel like I've thought about the first game for months now and just kept thinking about what happened and my choices and the characters and what is that, like, what game kind of gave you that first? That kind of feeling.
What was the question again?
Like a more emotional feeling from a game. Like, what game has given you that first, you think?
I don't really think too many games have given me that sort of emotional, like, connection. I can't really think of any, to be honest.
So what's the last game that you played that had that kind of impact on, like, most recent, or even just watched, since I know you watch people play games and stuff?
Let me think. I really think the one that gave me a really big, like, sort of emotional upheaval. So the first one that I ever did that was Heavy Rain, because that one was pretty intense, and that one, like, had this sort of mystery storyline. Although that was a little disappointing because I felt like, depending on how you play, the ending should be different. But the endings are all the same in Heavy Rain. I feel like they really need to remaster that and add different endings depending on how you act and how you go. It doesn't have to be like 30 different endings, but more or less anyone who had hands and could move could have been the killer, you know?
True. I mean, it's not really going to give you that much of a different playthrough.
But it would make the replay value worth it to get all these different endings and story conversions, you know? But the most recent one, I'd have to say, is The Last of Us. It wasn't, I don't know, I knew the ending was going to go the way that it was, but I was hoping that you could make a different choice between dying alone and saving humanity with Ellie? I think Ellie.
Ellie, yeah, right.
So, I don't know, like, this is The Last of Us, and you chose to not help humanity. A little frustrating in my viewpoint.
It was kind of... I mean, maybe it's The Last of Us, and looking at it through Joel's eyes, it's like, maybe this is all we have left. And he's okay with that, but she wasn't.
Yeah.
She's a young kid who has the energy and the heart to go on, and he just doesn't have it anymore. He's a broken father, you know? He was broken, and she wasn't
get that.
yet.
I mean, that is, like, the first thing you know about him. What is it, the first part of the story? He loses his child, and I get it. It's tough, it's difficult. But at the same time, this could have saved humanity if he had allowed them to operate on her. I get it. It would have killed her. She was not going to make it. She wasn't.
That is such a good game. God,
Didn't they remaster it, like, twice now?
Yes, I want the remaster so badly. I'm gonna get that. I'll probably play that in October, because it's got that horror element to it. Seems like it would be good. Good to do a playthrough. Plus, I freaking dominate in the multiplayer. I'm pretty damn good, I must say. Pat myself on the back a
We
little.
get together, and, like, just all of us, all you and your 11 subscribers, we should just write to the creators of Heavy Rain and tell them to re-effing master it.
They did the HD remaster for the PS4, but
more endings.
they need to do. I agree with you. It should be expanded, that world, I think. And out of those games, I'd like a sequel of that more than what do you call it? Beyond Two Souls. Did you watch that? That's another game that the same people made. and I felt like it was so long that was. I never have a problem with movies, usually games, whatever, being too long. But
Yeah.
I had an issue with that. That game could have ended 5 times before it actually ended. And if you watched it, you would know what I'm saying. But yeah, it wore me out by the end.
Yeah. And now that I'm looking up some of the information for The Last of Us, they did announce last
I loved it
winter
too,
that they were
Jimmy.
making a part 2.
I did love it, Jimmy, but I don't know, man. I felt like it was long-winded.
Yeah.
Great concept. Great concept.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some control issues as well with the when all of a sudden it turns from slow-paced moral decision game
What a piece
to action game, tactical action shooter kind of game. Like
Mm-hmm.
it just doesn't flow to have it like that's if this game turned into like a shooter out of nowhere. What if this turned into GTA out of nowhere and it was suddenly open world Life is Strange, which is a cool concept, but it's like
No, Mom. I swear he
what?
made himself
You'd be
to
like,
the tire iron.
now I can just go anywhere and do anything, even though for a whole other game and most of this game, whatever. What if like halfway through this series, all of a sudden you're able to go wherever and drive and stuff? I
Yeah.
felt like it switched gears too much and beyond two
Yeah, I
souls.
can see that.
Angel Gamer, hello.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jimmy, for joining.
Tell me again what I owe my mother, dirtbag.
And welcome, Angel Gamer,
Hello, Angel Gamer.
for episode 2 of the Co-op Talk podcast, where I have a guest and we talk about games.
Yes.
And
Yes,
this-
welcome to Life is Memes.
Yeah, life is memes.
Go grab my socket wrench set from the
Oh, you got your score beat in Tekken Bowling, John.
What is this? Quality time?
Oh, of course he beat it, John. Come on, you can't be too mad. You can just surpass him. That's all.
All I see in the garage is
Mhm.
family stuff.
By the way, John, what happened to your noisy neighbors?
Yeah, did things calm down? Because you
Are they
said
still yelling?
it
Have they been
sounded
yelling
like
this
a
whole time?
domestic dispute earlier, apparently.
Mom should date literally anyone else.
So now that I've asked you some really deep questions about consoles, about your background with video games.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's my
Chinese
favorite line.
visit all of our
There we
catering.
go. I clicked that button like 20 times. I was gonna ask you and about the impact. Well, actually, I should tell you about
Does he think he's
what
better
game
than
impacted
Einstein?
me first.
Yeah.
My first memory is the demo of Metal Gear Solid
By Toolbox.
for
Mhm.
the for the PS1.
Or did he mean himself?
It's around Christmas time. I got this demo disc. I think it was like 1997 at the time, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Get this demo disc for like $5
These have chapters on hotwiring your
at
mom's
like what
boyfriend's
used to
cars
be like
before you
Ames,
drive
I
off a
think.
cliff.
Yeah.
Store that doesn't exist around here anymore.
Dad's Toolbox.
I got this $5 demo disc and it's got this game called Metal Gear Solid. Never heard of it. Looks crazy. Graphics look really good for the time.
Yeah.
My brother and I, we popped the disc in, and it's got this cinematic opening. You've got this guy in this tactical getup swimming through this water. You got the crazy music. You got the voiceover of the Colonel talking to Snake about the mission. And you're just like, this is like a freaking action film. This is nuts. Like as a kid, and then you get out of the water, and then you can crawl. You can knock on walls.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I already played Life is Strange 1, Angel,
I'm supposed to get David a
but
stupid
and
wrench.
I really love it.
50-50 chance I smash him in the face with this.
So that game,
60-40. Maybe
just
90-10.
the atmosphere, the characters, just getting invested in it, and then
If it's in my
spoiler, you know, 20 years ago. Spoiler, the fight at the end, when you're fighting on top of Metal Gear, it's like, you really felt like the fate of the world was in your hands. And you're just like a 10-year-old kid if you're me. You're just like, I gotta beat this dude's ass or we're all dead.
Yeah.
Hand-to-hand combat. So that was just, and then the emotional investment, you know, with other characters like Meryl, and then Naomi on the codec, talking to her and realizing like her past, and the relationship with Frank Yeager, the cyborg ninja, and all that. Like, oh my god, it was just overwhelming as a kid. And I played that game, you know, from 4th grade all the way to 7th grade until the PS2 came out, and then eventually Metal Gear Solid 2 came out. But I just remember playing the hell out of that game. I got everything in the game, like every special item, ending, whatever. I was obsessed with Metal Gear Solid. I actually beat it in 2.5 hours one time by skipping all the cutscenes and everything and just running through it. I did a speed run when I was in 6th grade. And that was just like a life-changing game. Like, and it influenced my art. You know, like I wanted to draw characters like that looked like Snake. My first formal drawing was of one of the soldiers. That was one of the first times I used like a formal method of drawing, like with the circles and everything, the figure drawing kind of thing.
Yeah, you know, I always tried to do the figure drawings. I just couldn't do it.
It feels weird at first.
Mm-hmm.
It does feel weird, like I'm gonna outline. Don't I just go for the details? Like, no, you do like this under sketching, and then you clean it up later with an eraser and all that.
Yeah.
Or of course now it's all easy with digital drawing and stuff. Which do you like more, Life is Strange 1 or Life is Strange 2? Angel Gamer's
I personally really like 1.
So far, if you compared episode 1 to, let's say, this episode 1?
I just feel like this one, it's a good story, good interaction. It just goes by super slow. I don't know. I can't really describe it, but like 1, I like best.
I feel like 1 has a super slow feel to it, but it's continuous, and it doesn't take you on as much of a random adventure as this, which I guess is the point. Whatever, like, I don't know. I feel you. Like, it's a little forced, but I guess that's putting you in Chloe's shoes. That she randomly meets, talks to Rachel and becomes friends with her randomly. Like, they have this not really plausible friendship.
Here, let me put that in a language you'll understand.
Yeah.
Foxtrot.
I'm arguing with David, by the way.
I realized your language.
Let me dumb it down.
Let me dumb it down.
Sorry.
But
What has fewer syllables than dumb?
yeah, like this, it goes quicker out of nowhere towards the end, and that was just kind of too long. I think they waited.
Put me out of my misery, or yourself
Okay.
for the same reason.
But I'm with you. I mean, so far I like the first game a lot more.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, the first one had a lot more going for it. Obviously, you have Max with her powers. You have the fact that Rachel Amber's missing. She meets Chloe again, and there's a killer.
Yeah,
And Nathan
yeah.
Prescott's being an ass.
Doesn't the Constitution say
It's a lot.
soldiers
There's a lot more
can't
going
leave
on.
homes without consent? Because for the record,
And of course, this is a prequel, so they can't do anything too crazy because it could mess with the continuity of the first game. But still.
True.
do I come to your place of employment and
Angel Gamer has
you
subscribed.
don't have one?
Thank you.
If you
You should get like a cowbell or something every time someone subscribes. Just ring it.
Yeah. Ding ding ding.
Mission accomplished.
At a couple Texas roadhouses, I don't know if they do it here, but if you liked and had a good time, you ring the bell and everyone's like, yeah.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize that was a thing. Maybe they don't want you to know.
Well, that's what I saw when I was in Texas, so yeah.
They probably don't want you to know up here that you should ring the bell.
You're sick.
I would it all the time because I had a good time. As long as I get that bread and butter, it is a good time always.
What is your favorite food to eat
My
while
favorite food
eat while
that I
you're
feel
playing
like-
a game? Let's say.
Eat while playing games. Well, it would have to be something like handheld. I love, it's going to sound kind of funny, but like, technically speaking, they're called hand pies. And my friends and her mom and I used to make like these little pies. And they look like little turnovers, but they're like savory pies you can eat with one hand.
This isn't right.
What kind of flavors did they have?
If Mom
Not so much flavors, but it would just be like a beef pot pie or a chicken pot pie.
Mmm. That sounds
Remember
good.
that I posted on Facebook about how I was making like pies? That's what they would look like.
You're making pies?
One or two.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they were good. They were delicious.
Oh, we got hit by a car and my controller is rumbling like crazy.
Oh my god. Remember when you first played this, and the controller vibrated so violently, like it shocked you?
Yeah, I had put it down for 2 seconds next to the microphone, I think, or next to something, and it just rattled the hell out of it.
Yep. I think it even shocked you. You were like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Mm.
the hell?
So
Out of the car.
we've talked about like the impact of certain games and everything. Oh yeah, I'm Angel Gamer. We're from the United States. You're from Italy. That's funny. My sister is currently living in Italy, and she'll be back in a few years.
All right, she is. I keep forgetting that you have a sister and you have another older brother, because I just think of only you and Josh.
Most people do. Most people go, wait, you have an older brother? Older brother?
Yeah, like
And,
I remember you
like, a
mentioned it
sister?
to me, and I was like, what do you mean there's more of you?
Right.
Mhm.
Most people don't know. Yeah, my sister has sent me food, Angel Gamer, from Italy before, and it's really good.
Mhm.
Good chocolate.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're all from the same. We're all from the States. We're all from the same city, besides Angel Gamer currently.
Yeah. Which is awesome, though.
Mhm.
Angel Gamer, it must be very early in the morning for you.
Or very late, depending.
Yeah, depending on your outlook. If you, yeah, I know. Says the guy who can't sleep until like almost 3 a.m. every night.
Well, that's because you have no reason to wake up early. That's the issue.
I have plenty of reason. I'm just on a screwed up life right now. That's all.
Hey, Elliot.
And you see, I was trying to help you by getting you to wake up early and go to the beach with me.
And then Tito was trying to help me out too. We used to wake up and run,
Other guy.
Guess it's
but then
What happened to that?
he
You were
got
doing good
hurt.
for like 7 days.
He got hurt.
Oh, that's an issue.
People can eat
M squared J.
Even social media haters can't ruin how awesome.
Wait, how did Tito get
Hello.
hurt? Did he not run correctly?
How about the Tempest?
It's just, I think he aggravated a childhood injury actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's
Yeah,
kinda
so-
lame, but
That put him out of commission, and he went on vacation like that.
do you want to go together now?
Yeah, when it comes to running and getting back into running, you should only really do it 2 to 3 times a week until you condition yourself.
No way. I'd rather have my eyes gouged out with rusted forks.
Yeah, right.
I never chose this
I guess.
interaction before. I'm trying to be a little more aggressive, Chloe.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it.
Like, I stole the shirt, I stole the money, but I put it in my mom's purse, the $200.
Good.
Trying to help her out so she doesn't have to pawn her engagement ring.
Yeah, exactly.
Nathan in tights. Can't unsee.
You know what we should have done? We should have well, maybe not, depending on your opinion. Should have advertised that we were doing a live stream.
Hey, Skip.
These are okay. I mean, John's episode is doing well on the playback.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a decent amount of views. I feel like this one's got crazy activity. We've got the most people in the chat coming in and out that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, we've had a total of 7 to 8 different people.
It's been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And people can ask questions
Yes.
if they're so inclined.
So,
Yes.
last night.
But like I was saying, we've had things impact, video games impact us growing up and even in our adult years.
Mm-hmm.
Are games, in your opinion, a viable medium like books and films, and should they be recognized as such? I feel like, just to preface this, it's like games are still looked at as, that's cute,
Mm-hmm.
like generally by the public, like an ad for a game is just, oh, that's something for kids. When they see it on the TV, whatever, they ignore it.
Yeah.
It's not like gonna stop people in their tracks like a movie trailer
Mm-hmm.
would.
Um,
What do you think?
Games as a whole, I really do believe that they can be a very large artistic outlet, because it's not like reading where you have to weave a certain type of story, or artwork where it's very subjective. With video games, it's so much more complicated because you have to incorporate all these things. So as a whole, I believe that video games can be an art form, can be cathartic, can be a relaxation, power hour for you, So I believe, the issue with video games is that it's all these things, and it's really what you make of it. So, for instance, Mirror's Edge, that was a very stylistic game. That game was meant to be very much about the art and about the substance, while other games, say, the one that we're playing right now, not very high on the graphics, not even very high on the story, but it's just nice to play through.
I turned that shit up.
They're I feel like movies and books, you're not going to get as much of a variation of the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, kind of what you're saying, playing off of what you're saying.
So,
It's like you're going to experience a game differently than the next person. Whereas, a movie, if it's horror, it's horror. Oh, that didn't scare me. Or, oh, it scared me.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Resident Evil, you could say, oh, it didn't scare me, it scared me, but also, was it challenging to you? Was it confusing? Were the puzzles hard for you? Are you good at shooting? Are you good at shooting? And then I'm good at doing the puzzles. Did we have a different experience?
Yeah. And I can even say that you could break it down even further than that when you think about it, because you could have character development, character arcs, good storyline, no good storyline, good interaction between the actors and the voice actors, because people think voice acting, you just, you talk. That's simple. But it's not that simple, actually, because you have to really emote.
Right. Absolutely. Uncharted 4 is a great example. Where they actually put the people, they put them on a soundstage and they map out their movements. And they, have to really emote and exaggerate, as you were saying. Their bodies, their everything. Their body language, the emotion of their voices. You have to really drive the story and make people believe it. Believe what you're doing is scary or intense or just whatever kind of emotion. There's so much more into it. You're right about that. It's like taking a painting and trying to make the voices of the people in the painting, but animated at the same time, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's all these different things. There's so many things involved with a video game that, like, people just kind of assume it's sort of like trashy, but it really isn't, because there is a lot of, like, even the simplest of video games takes a team, takes drawers, script writers, people to do the rendering. You know, even like Life is Strange, like I was saying before, like, yeah, it's a simple style, but they still show people doing little subtle movements like smirking, waving their hands a certain way, gestures, posing, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if they just stood here and, you know, Chloe, she's folding her arms, you know, it's showing you a lot about her. That's, you know, she's guarded. She doesn't necessarily enjoy people prying.
Yeah. Like, even right now, like, this is a faraway scene. You only see the teacher moving her hands, and, you know, if you're really looking, you see she's doing a lot of these small movements that you don't even think about when you're just standing there.
And a little plus on the hair physics for this series. I'm glad the hair moves around finally.
Yes.
In the first game, it was kind of just very static.
Need my DVD from Steph.
M Squared, I stream so randomly. I'm trying to upload every day this week. Just seeing how it goes. I mostly play Friday the 13th, the game, as you can see in the little description on the bottom there of the screen.
Yeah.
But I really love Life is Strange, and I bought the deluxe edition of this season. And we are going to play the whole thing as they come out. And I you know, I play a lot of different titles. But we generally have a good time.
Yeah, we do.
It's low key, regular gaming, nothing fancy.
Yeah, and that's the best thing in life.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Keeping it simple.
Principal World.
I mean, honestly, like, whenever I listen to you play through Life is Strange, it's normally when I'm done with work or I'm relaxing at the end of the day. It's nothing hectic or too crazy. I like it. And
to my next thing that I was gonna ask you and John, and generally anyone else, like, I know I myself, I watch people who commentate video games and so forth. Would you guys want me to stream Infamous Second Son, or do segmented episodes where I commentate and play alone? Or would we like to stream and interact? Because I know that's sort of like a very open game. There's a lot more downtime, I'm suspecting. And it might not be as entertaining for some people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I personally would sit there and watch you play, but I have to say, like, I've been kind of spoiled with Life is Strange in that I can chat with you and kind of be like, oh man, did you see that happen? That was crazy. I really like that. I hate to say it, I'm kind of a person who chats during movies. So I try not to do that when I'm in the theater, but, like, if I'm at home and we've already seen this, I like to make little comments. But anyways, I digress. I would totally still watch you while you play that. It's just more fun when I can comment and chat with you.
I believe John is on board with you. Stream and interact, personally. I only prefer segmented when it's like a review. Oh, here comes Wells. I'm going to try to beat him this time. This was definitely the toughest backtalk that I've encountered so far. He caught me on the stage.
Bamboozled again.
Him and his principal powers, damn it.
I'm good. It's the other guy who needed a safe space from me.
You never failed to perform.
But you're more into me streaming the whole thing of Infamous Second Son then.
Yep.
Because, you know, it looks great. I didn't play any of the other ones, but I don't think I need to.
Mhm.
I swear to you, I did not walk on that stage. It was more of a sentence.
I mean, it's really on you. This is your channel, and this is the way you want to go and dictate it. Obviously, at a certain point, you will want to like do fun things for your subs, but we'll be there regardless.
So you watch different channels?
Mhm.
What is your favorite game-related channel, besides this one?
To be honest, I haven't really been following any really game-related channel. It just happens to be a YouTuber that's playing a video game. It goes back to like our conversation about 45 minutes ago about like the nature of YouTube, and certain YouTubers that I used to follow. They were fun, they were cool, but they really got way too much into the YouTubing way, if that makes sense. You know, from unboxings and answering questions and not really being about the video game or chatting about the video game. Now, yes, I get it. It can get boring on a YouTube channel if you're only doing one thing, but I really couldn't help but feel as if they sold out to like be a part of like that YouTuber lifestyle where they were doing nothing but challenges. You know, nothing but like fad things like 1,000-degree knife come through this Resident Evil like figurine. Like, no, I don't really want to see that. Like, yeah, it's nice to see things burn and, you know, break it apart, but I came here for the video games. Can I have some of that too? You know, rotate it in with everything else you're doing, but like, you were a gaming channel. I'd like to see the games. I trusted your opinion about these games.
And that kind of goes back to our thing about honesty.
High risk and single them out for special intimidation tactics.
How do you know
Yeah.
about that designation?
Where you kind of wonder, like, how authentic are they anymore?
What else do I
And of course, people, you know, people are allowed to change. That's nature of life. But at the same time, like, I don't want to buy something that's not really a good quality or that I would even like.
Ooh, goody.
I just don't. I mean, it's people are sheep
Funny.
in general.
Just a couple years ago, something scared the crap out of me.
People are just like
I'm like
gonna just follow the flavor of the month.
I'm not giving any fucks.
But I feel like the honest people will just be there grinding it out.
Mhm.
They're just gonna be there all the time anyway. You know,
Doing what they can do.
those people will get exposed who are
Excellence. Futures
you know, pulling the wool over people's eyes and all that, and being
Yeah.
you know, being disingenuous.
Mhm.
Chloe.
Like, that's why in my description I'm like,
I'm just teasing.
I'm not gonna clickbait you.
Me so seriously since
You know, we're not doing that. That's not what this channel is.
You don't say.
Yeah.
I just want to interact with people, and like, this is why I started the podcast thing, is like,
But you know,
how has gaming affected people,
am I right?
Mhm.
and really get into it and really talk about these games, because I feel like they should be discussed. Like, look how long it took. I know you're a fan, Watchmen, to get into curriculum as a viable piece of literature. Thing had been on the bestseller list for decades of New York Times and this and that, but never recognized. But then finally, in the past 10 years or so, it finally is getting recognized and taught in some, you know, really cool colleges. Really cool college classes. Like,
Yeah.
how long until it's like, okay, play this game and write a paper about it?
Yeah. So long.
You hang with the Vortex
An
Club?
analysis.
I mean,
And that's what I'm talking about, a viable medium. What, you know, you have these film classes. I know you have video game journalism, I've heard of, as classes. But what about just, you know, discovery? What about just dialogue about these games? And could there be such a thing in the future as, I'm not joking, totally serious, like a professor of video game content, you know, electronic media, let's say, something like that, you know?
Yeah.
to kind of formal it up, you know, like comics is sequential art, you know. They make it sound nice on paper. But, you know, how long until you're getting college credit to talk about something that is a viable medium, which we believe here in this circle video games are, or else you wouldn't be here. Right?
Well, I really believe that could be something that could be studied because video games have been around for a while. And with video games, it really mirrors a lot of things like types of video games that were popular, types of genres that were really popular through the times, and different art styles. And then, like, it's almost as if you can kind of do, like, the history of video games. And similar with comic books, how certain origin stories really mirror what people believe in with the times. So, like, for instance, Spider-Man, the Spider before, it was nuclear power when we didn't really know what nuclear power did. Next thing you know, it moves up to things like genetic engineering, which is something that we really put a lot of stock into, you know, nowadays, you know, with like Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland's incarnations of Spider-Man. So it can, like, video games can also be a reflection of the times too.
No, you're right, and I believe this game actually has tapped into that. Like right now, Victoria just mentioned Facebook and how people, you know, fake news, fake whatever you want to call it, rumors get spread about people. Like she's like, it's on Facebook. You and Rachel, it must have been something important. It wouldn't be important if, you know, if it wasn't on Facebook. It's not important. So because it's there, it must have meant something. You know, I think you have a great point.
I try and make a couple of good points.
No, that's good. I like it. I like where your head's at.
I bet Stephen Samantha Myers.
I think I'm ready for bed. It's late.
Yeah.
Hey Samantha, what are you reading?
It's like 11, so that's late for me.
Oh, it's late. It's late Monica time.
I've been up since like 6, so yeah, it's late for me.
You did homework. Normally I don't.
And that's okay. I mean, we've pretty much gone through all of my questions except in Life is Strange, going back to it.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Squared, I agree. Video games are like books you can play. It's true. Or like a play you can play. Like this game, you choose dialogue. It's sad. This is a humorous question. Did you know any faux punk hipster sluts in high school?
Yes, you, clearly.
Did you know any Chloes, as Mr. Jefferson would call her, faux punk hipster slut?
No, I honestly don't really think I met anyone that was like a faux punk. They were all pretty authentic about it. Like, there were the girls who were the artistic ones. There were the ones who were listening to like Green Day and obsessing about them, listening to Blink-182, and there were the kids who were like somewhere in the middle of everything. So I don't really think anyone was too fey or foppish about it. Some sort of like anything. No, I don't believe anyone was fake about it.
No, that's true. I mean, that was definitely appropriate for the era.
Mm-hmm.
What the kids were into back when we were in high school.
Pretty much.
No one was really forcing it.
Yeah.
There were plenty of people who, you know, they bounced around different circles, but not really. I mean, the ones who were punk kind of stayed punk. And me,
yeah.
I stayed Max with my generic looking shirts and shit. And like, probably until I was like a senior.
Yeah.
And really just wanted to be myself and like, I don't know. Well, I kind of faded into the background, I feel like Max a lot. Back when I was around this age, I'd say, in the game, like 16.
Mm-hmm.
That was just my thing. I was just a generic dude. I just flew under the radar.
Yeah, but then you realized, I remember, 'cause it was also around the time that you were like well, what am I doing? I want to do more than just this. I want to. And then you started branching out into different groups of friends. Because I remember in high school, you strictly stuck with your age bracket. So if you were a senior, you stuck with seniors, juniors with juniors. No one really intermingled. But like, I want to say you were like one of the first few people who intermingled between like classes. And I'm not saying like, oh, intermingled between like algebra and calculus. No, it was more like intermingled between like freshmen, sophomores, and seniors. And with that, it kind of opened up your eyes to like different things in life. You know, I believe it also helped you expand on your artwork too.
That was kind of like MySpace's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just branched me out to like everybody who was on there. And it didn't matter if you were a freshman, senior, sophomore, whatever. Anything. Like, you could just be friends on there and then be like, hey, we have a lot of this in common. We should just be friends and not let stupid grades and social circles, you know, that are forced on us, you know, dictate where we go in life. And, like, we could have never met at all, the two of us.
Pretty much.
You know, if it wasn't for social media, as primitive as it was back then, we could have just never met at all.
I mean, honestly, how is it so different from Facebook? Like, yeah, there was a moment when you used Facebook to play video games, but how is it different? We looked at photos, we left comments, we slid into each other's DMs. Ain't that different? Ain't that different?
What was it on MySpace? The inbox? Something like that?
Yeah, the inbox.
It was like, I'll inbox you. Whatever it was. I don't know. It wasn't like they had like a chat like Facebook.
Nope.
Yeah, I hung out with seniors too, but it was mostly because of my brother. My brother, John, being a senior. I got to know a lot of guys who were older, a lot of those kids. We hung out. I don't know, just intermingling. I feel like being in like the honors classes and stuff kind of like put me away for a long time. From meeting a lot of people that I wouldn't have met without social media, honestly, when I was a junior. My friend kept bugging me to get on MySpace. He bugged me for like half a school year, and then I'm like, fine, I'll get it. And then I'm like, you could put up like 3 pictures at the time, whatever it was. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I remember.
You're like, I have to delete this picture, but it's got so many people who like it and commenting.
And you're like, I guess fine.
M Squared says, hanging around people older than me was easier than my age group. You know, that's true. I always felt more relaxed, safer, whatever, hanging out like outside and stuff, like out at a park or like out in the street, whatever, like hanging out with people.
Oh yeah.
And like,
I'm gonna go to bed now. I'm exhausted.
And just felt like you could be yourself, and no one in your class was gonna know what was going on.
Pretty much, but Jake, I gotta go to bed. I'm tired. I'm so tired.
Well, Monica, thank you so much. This is a great start to a more formal structure to the way I want to do these episodes.
Yes.
And I'll continue with anyone who joins the chat. If we want to talk about Life is Strange, we want to talk about life, real life in general, stuff like that, high school, whatever. But thank you, Monica, the mod.
Yeah, thanks for having me on your podcast. I will see you in the group chat. Night.
Thanks so much. Have a good night. So what do we feel, guys? Do we like this format? Or I can have people on? Even if you're like a subscriber, we could do this. I don't really mind. We could get in the... if you got the PS4, we could do the private chat. And we could talk about stuff. don't really mind.
Need my DVD from Steph.
Oh yeah, you can play the board game. I'll play it. I'm just taking a second here to like disassemble my gear that I was using for the whole podcast. Why, John? Did you want to phone in? Yeah, I just feel like talking to people and their experiences with games and stuff, it's rewarding to me. And I don't feel like there's enough of this. I feel like we watch people play the games and you watch their reactions, and that's it. Like, there isn't much of a dialogue going on. So I kind of want to format things to be more in depth. And I feel like this game is a good thing to do that with. Do you want to get in the private chat, John? I could invite you.
If I had known the Celestial Avenger was bloody, I would have totally given him my potion.
It was a skill challenge. Potion wouldn't have worked.
Skill challenge?
It's part of the tabletop game we play.
You wouldn't understand.
Give me a break, nerds. I've heard of tabletop games.
Cool.
That's right.
Got my DVD?
One
I
Blade
can
Runner,
play.
Director's cut coming right up.
Sweet.
Chloe's got this guard up,
Keep it.
but she
I was
used to
glad
be
someone
like
who
them.
appreciates the
She used to
process.
be kind of
We even
not
asked for the
cool
director's cut, which took out the shitty voiceover
with
and
Max,
replaced it
you know?
with a sweet dream sequence.
She's only a few years away from dressing like a pirate
That's my motto.
Right on.
and hanging out with Max.
Hey, do you know if Rachel is a gamer?
Rachel Amber? You're asking me?
Didn't you two go out last night, or was it just like a friend thing?
Yeah, that was on the phone, on a speakerphone.
Why do you want to know?
Steph has a crush.
Yeah, we could do the speakerphone, man.
Chloe, you should join our game.
Yeah. I don't have 50 hours right now. Thanks, though.
I mean, you're pretty much my co-host anyway.
So it'll only take like 20 minutes. What else have you got to do before class?
Absolutely, it did cause her to shut out the world. And it's, you know, as cliche as it is, it's like, this really happens. I've known people like this. You know, I've felt myself change a little bit like this in certain instances in my own life. Not as, you know, cliche or drastic or whatever, but it's like being human. That's all it is. It's how you react to it, and it's just, you know, becoming what your environment makes you become.
What the hell?
Let's game on, nerds.
Here's a character sheet. You are an elf barbarian.
So right now we're going to call John. We're going to get him on the line
Hey, boy.
to kind of fill in. Hey, we hearing you? We're hearing you okay?
I think so. Let me check.
It's relatable to life when we lose things. It affects us in some ways. Definitely, man.
Yeah, I think we all have gone through those type of phases
I know, I'm good.
where we just can't deal.
Let's get started.
Yeah, you just go numb or
A once peaceful land.
use humor, use
A
You use anger.
Seeking the warlord leader, Durgaron, the Unscarred.
Well,
Sounds pretty clear on my side.
Bloodied and weary,
that's good.
you see your fellow
Yeah.
hero
Yeah,
approaching through
I've got you right next to the microphone.
I raise my staff to
Perfect.
Yeah.
I am Elamon.
Instead of coming through my TV like last time, which was okay though.
Almost advised
Yeah.
the king type
Yeah, no, it was fine.
sworn defender of Avalon.
Makes me kind of think that we could probably play the game.
Introduce
Probably play, like, you know, Friday the 13th, and you'd probably be able to hear me and the TV just fine. And I guess for future reference, it's trial and error, but we seem to be getting better each time.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm Calamastia.
super into it.
Yeah, Friday the 13th just takes me so much
Two heroes.
out of the conversation though. I feel
Mhm.
like it
Yeah.
would be so hard to focus.
Durgaron,
It's so intense.
in the name of King Tiberius,
Yeah.
what makes you think you are worthy to fight
Whereas
alone?
this, I can just chill and press, 4 buttons.
Yeah, just press buttons, yeah. And you can hear the dialogue. Still, it's you definitely notice that there's like a completely different vibe because of the lack of music.
True story.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
shame
just,
we can't do that.
for anyone watching, it's the copyright claims.
The Raiders
It's
told
just,
them
this game is riddled with them.
their prison
I have to turn the music off, or else this will get banned in like 14 countries. Not even lying.
No, I believe it.
They
It's all sorts of DM.
the old episodes of the first game, YouTube listened to my disputes, but still one of them is banned from 14 countries.
Your choice, newbie.
Including the US?
No, not including the US, at least.
Yeah.
So I have to turn the music off. Last time I think I did the prison camp first. Let's go to the training ground first.
Sounds good. Let's go to the training ground.
Sweet.
Upon arriving at the training ground, you are spotted by a heavy-set orc who immediately shouts and points. There
And
are
see,
7
like,
raiders on the training field.
This is nuts because right around this age,
Charge.
Okay.
I was playing games like this.
Urgel's acid blast.
Mhm.
Overkill?
Bam.
I was playing Hero Clicks. You remember them?
Yeah.
Every raider suddenly
Those were one of the things that I never actually got into.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Great tabletop game.
I know they had a Street Fighter version, but
Did they?
even then it wasn't enough to like get me into it,
No, by that time I was kind of past it a little bit.
Yeah.
Swinging a massive warhammer.
All yours.
Though I mean, in the past, actually a couple of summers ago, I did play Dungeons and Dragons for the whole summer, and that was pretty balls to the walls.
Oh yeah, you talked about that. You've had experience with it.
Oh yeah, no, it was really fun. Especially when the DM knows what they're doing. In this case, that cutie over there.
Hey, she likes Rachel, man.
What did I say?
Yeah.
Hey, Andre Ventura, hello from Portugal.
Oh, whoa.
Okay.
Smiley faces.
Except you're not wielding a sword.
Nothing wrong with admiring from afar.
How's it going?
All right.
Welcome.
Try using your
I had my other mod, Monica, for this episode. I'm just doing a continuation so that we finish Life is Strange,
Fatal cleave.
this second playthrough that I'm doing right now.
Axe downward with both hands. The orc blinks, then splits open like a hot gun.
Fuck yeah! I'm awesome at this game.
I am awesome at this game.
What about the loot?
Give me the loot.
As the training ground is now roiling.
Trying to get better with Roy Batty in Tekken 7.
Did I have to pay for the game? Ellie Bain asks. I did have to pay for the game. It was $24.99 for the deluxe edition.
Yeah, we're not like paid sponsors,
Yeah, we're not anything big here, so I did indeed pay for it, which I was happy to do.
Right, I mean, when you want to show the love, right?
It's the season pass. They give you all this stuff. I'm like, why not? I freaking love this game so much.
mistakes.
Elamon nods. Pelamastia, the elf barbarian, is most wise and forgiving.
What's next?
What's next? Oh, definitely prison camp.
Prison school.
You could get it. I think the cheaper one was, what was it? Like 15 or 16?
I think it's only 15 because it's only 3 episodes.
Well, it's the season pass, Ellie. That's why it's the whole game. Plus I get extra outfits, I get an extra story. I don't know if it's out yet. It's called Farewell, where you get to be Max. You get to be a young Max.
Right. I heard it. Okay.
You get a mixtape mode, which is useless for me because you can't put anything on YouTube that has the music, or you get copyright strikes.
The dragon is down, shaking his ring of keys at you. He shouts in a strange language. Whatever he's saying
M squared.
isn't flattering.
Got any useful spells?
Random, but I'll be surprised if Irma hits Florida. Is it still on track to hit Florida? And it's kind of ironic that I'm playing this game before the storm during that time, not to make light of it.
Yeah. Not that it's a laughing matter. But
No, but like there was like a huge tornado in the first game as well,
What do you say?
in weird weather.
You little lizard.
Unfortunately, he doesn't speak common, which means he
I
can't
cast communication on the Dragon King.
Come on.
Communication cast.
really
Here we go.
Now he can understand every word you say.
time to
Ooh.
work some real.
So I can.
This is called a skill.
Oh.
Where you
Oh, it
try
got
to
delayed,
figure
huh?
out what this is. I grab the bar
The
and keep
Irma
it
got delayed. It's going
nice and close.
is it like a lower category, you think,
His
of
scaly skin
severity?
fear.
Because I think it was like a category 4. Dragons are P-word.
I spoke to my friend that's in
That's why they hide in caves
Florida.
and come
Told her
out
to be careful.
on sheep and cows
because I wasn't sure where she was in Florida. She said that a lot of people were panicking, but where she is, like, they're not supposed to be getting much of it.
Dragons are gods, he says.
Damn.
That's what she says, anyways.
You're short, I say. But I could fix that. I'll just cut off your head and wear it as a top hat. Then
I'm gonna
you can
cut off your head and wear it
dance
as a top hat.
No, please don't do that. Still, I can
Ah,
the key.
I see.
Bergeron will
You can't buy it or your dad will get mad. Oh, that's a tough situation. But at least you can watch it.
I want to reach through the bars and grab the stupid key.
This is true.
You tried, but he's
We're like the cheap alternative.
No, I mean I've watched a ton of games too. I understand.
Cop shit is hard.
Yeah.
Instead of played it.
We all got our priorities.
Swallows the key, pointing at his stomach and then his own butt, laughing at you. Then he
I shoved my axe through the key
Oh my goodness.
into his stomach.
Ooh, I shoved my axe into the stomach.
His guts and shit start falling everywhere, but
I jam my hands inside his stomach, grabbing the key.
In the final moments
It's a
before
5, but by the time it comes by, it would be a 3 or 4 hurricane. Okay. That's good to know. Not that I'm anywhere close, but still, just for those people, you know? I know Texas is in a bad situation as well. Still, from that,
Right.
a few weeks later.
Yeah. My supervisor was telling me how, like, she had people that got hit, like, she knew people that lived in the area where it got hit, and she said that coincidentally they had moved a couple of months earlier.
Is that Mickey Calibre? Hello. Thanks for joining us on the back end of this podcast episode where we had one of my moderators on it, and now we have my other moderator, John, joining us.
Hello.
I don't know, you want to answer some of these questions that we were talking about? I know you were chatting, you were typing a little bit.
Oh yeah, my bad. I was playing Tekken. Let me look at the message.
I mean, I don't want to like, because I do want to do a more in-depth episode with you. So
Yeah,
I don't
no,
want to, like,
it's fine.
I don't
I
want
mean,
to,
I'm always willing to help either way. Plus, I'm only in the training room, so it's not really like an issue.
which someone used unnecessarily to show off
So games with you,
Calamastia?
it's just been like your whole life, huh?
For me?
They've been around?
You talking to me?
Yeah, your background.
Oh, yeah, dude. I was trying to answer some of the questions when you guys were talking about, like, games that affected you.
Yeah, I saw it going by, but she was talking and I couldn't, you know? I didn't want to, like, interrupt with what you were saying.
Yeah.
I figured she would read it, too.
Yeah.
I saw you say stuff about Onimusha.
Oh, yeah, Onimusha just had me sold.
Not for me. As you take your first step,
Because, like, the story itself, because, like growing up, I never really, like, you know, got into, like, the Zelda games or anything like that, or I missed it. Like, I had NES, but I had, like, Super Mario and, like, a couple of games I couldn't remember. But then the NES broke, and then when everyone else got the Super Nintendo, I got the Sega, you know? So there really wasn't that much of a story to it, per se,
Yeah.
for, like, games that I played. But then again, there was, like, Streets of Rage 2, which I fell in love with, where, like, there was, like, minimal to no dialogue, but then when I beat the game, like, the game itself kind of, like, you know, obviously it had the great soundtrack, but, they never really told you why you were just, like, whooping all these guys' asses, you know? But then when you finally find out, like, when you beat the final boss, it turns out that you were saving, Skate's brother, you know? And he was the character that was in the first game. So I was like, wow, that was pretty cool, you know, you're here to save your brother.
But
You're
it's-
here to help and save your old friend / this little kid's brother. Though it was extremely irresponsible having a 10-year-old kid just fighting all these, like, grown-ass men, you know? But then, like, you know, I didn't think much of it at the time. And then N64, you know, I was only, like, though there was, like, stories and stuff like GoldenEye, but I can't really count, like, GoldenEye as, like, a game that was, like, kind of, like, story-driven, if that makes
Yeah.
sense, because it was already a movie, you know?
True.
So, like, I can't be invested in it because it was a movie. But it was an amazing game all the same. Great music, great gunplay. But it didn't really have me emotionally invested. And it was up until I got the PS2 when I really, like, started caring, you know? Where,
Yeah.
like, Onimusha was, like, the first game that kind of made me care. Like, the first one, Samanosuke, you know, you just had to save the princess. And, you know, that's, again, you know, that was, like, the whole shtick with Zelda. But, like I said, I wasn't really into Zelda. I was definitely into Resident Evil in feudal Japan, and you replaced the zombies with demons. That was Onimusha, and it was beautiful. I loved it. And that was the core concept. Shinobi made me care. You know, that was like another action adventure. And most games like that, you know, you don't really care about the story, but for some reason I really felt for the characters. And like Shinobi and like the Onimusha games, and maybe because I'm just a weeb, but like it really did make me feel for the characters. Like here you are, you know, you're playing as a dude that is the last member of his clan, and he has to re-kill the whole clan because they're been like some dark arts brought them back to life, and they have to serve this dude, and you have to kill them again so they could rest in peace forever. And then Onimusha 2 just had me feel that, like, you know, that, like, man, have you ever watched the opening of Onimusha 2?
No, I've
Like-
never really gotten into those games, honestly.
Dude, like, I'll tell you right now, like, if you have the time, just watch the opening of Onimusha 2. It's so gut-wrenching. You know, like, you just see, like, this peaceful little village, and then all of a sudden you just see an army just destroying the village. And, like they really, like, set the mood right off the bat. You see a happy village. There's, like, a lady playing with their baby with a little toy. All of a sudden it just starts raining arrows, and then all of a sudden these, like, soldiers start attacking the village, killing all these people,
Yeah.
and they're demons. They're demons, and they're attacking, killing the villagers, and they're being killed in pretty brutal ways. Like, it's actually pretty surprising given how brutal the game was at the time. and then like you see the mother holding the child running away, and then all of a sudden thing cast in fire, and then you see Nobunaga, like the bad guy, just walking with his whole army, like on his horse, obviously, just riding on horseback, going through the villages in flames, and then you just see like Snake just destroying, like breaking the toy that child had, and then it just cuts to the main character running through this bamboo forest, just running, and then like it didn't tell you anything, but right away you know that that's his village, and his village is just straight up like destroyed, and like right there I'm just like, oh my god. So like right then you're here to avenge a whole village from like being like senselessly massacred just because they were in the way of Nobunaga's army. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so they really force the point that you have to go kick some ass.
Yeah.
You have to avenge some people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it definitely made me feel because it was just like, it was just like you just see it's like a happy family, and then it's just like all of a sudden you just see all this nonsense, senselessness, and then all of a sudden that's when the story transpires. Right when you like start a new game, the first thing you do is you make it to your village, and it's raining, and everyone's dead. So already it's just like you already know, like just like the weight on Jubei's shoulders.
It's enormous. It's kind of like what I was saying about Metal Gear Solid. They really put that weight on you that the fate of the world was at stake.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It was definitely like that. Unfortunately, I as I was mentioning in the chat, I didn't have a PS1, so I didn't get a chance to play MGS1 until like, roughly around like maybe a little before, actually even a little after MGS2, when I actually finally sat down and played MGS1.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You didn't play it for a long time?
No. Like I said, like I didn't have a PlayStation, and oddly enough, like everyone that I knew that had a PlayStation didn't have Metal Gear. So
wow, weird, man.
It was like, it was one of those games that it was always talked about, but I just didn't know anyone that had it, and I didn't have a PS1 myself because I was, I had the N64.
The first time I actually played the real thing was actually renting it from Blockbuster.
Oh yeah.
That's how old I am, people.
Yeah, that's how
people
old
from the chat, I'm old.
Yeah, people in the chat are mad young.
Yeah.
One got was it Squared? It's gonna be.
Oh no, who was it? Ellie was 10 years old. It said.
Ellie was 10, and then I think Squared said they were like a junior. I was like, oh man.
The Squared said the.
I'm old enough to like like obviously I was just like we're all just see us as your older brothers, kids.
Yeah, we're just like those older cool uncles or something.
Yeah.
That are probably talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
Squared has a good point though. They need to bring back some games back around PS2. Like Onimusha, like what's going on? That's just gone.
Me and Tito cannot get over the fact that like they have not made a remastered version of
that franchise is just dead.
Yeah.
Blockbuster was the ish. That's what Square just said.
That's where I bought my copy of Symphony of the Night.
Yeah. I looked up like a year ago that there were 50 Blockbusters left in North America.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all that's left.
I like that Blockbusters is an endangered species.
Renting. Everything is so on demand now. That's why. Everything is streaming.
Oh, yeah.
Back then, it's like, if you didn't get to rent the game, it was over. Oh, Monica's back. Go to bed, gah, she says.
Monica.
Monica, we're picking up where you left off, alright? I got John on the back end of the episode, and we got more people in the chat.
You were point, now I'm anchor.
Yep, he's, you know, the unofficial co-host, basically.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're like my Andy Richter.
One of these days, I'm gonna get my own streaming gear.
Oh yeah, one of these days you're gonna get the frickin' PS4,
Yeah, on top of that.
and we're gonna play Monster Hunter.
Having trouble with my affections are then most humble.
Good night, Monica.
To see a goodlier man. I mean, does she really mean
My freaking Gary, he just posted, like my good old, well, he's online, but it's like my good old Uncle 50 used to say, homie, you hustling backwards if you ain't chasing B. Stupid, chase that paper, they come with the ish. I'm not trying, I'm being, I'm trying to censor myself.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's true love.
All he's saying is don't be, like, you're just better off chasing money. Don't bother with all them thoughts, kids.
No, it's true. It's true, though. Like, to an extent. I mean, don't chase people who are not worth it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You know?
Thanks, Mr. Keaton.
I think by this age, we've mostly filtered out the people who are important enough to you.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone lives in a different era now of social media, of like staying in contact with people that you wouldn't have seen after high school.
Yeah.
You know, back then it was like, bye. We graduated, okay, done.
I mean, that's what it was. And that's what it still kind of is. You know what I mean? And that's what I was talking about. Like, I was telling Squared about, like, the whole things with clicks. You know, like,
Yeah.
sometimes it's not even worth clicking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it helps to kind of stand out a little where, you know, you just hang out with other people.
Jimmy's
And
Burger is
that's how
back.
I met you. That's how I met Tito, that piece of shit. And then, and then, you know, you got a friend for life, essentially.
How'd you meet him?
Tito, we were in computer class.
And we're gonna get Tito on this, by the way.
Oh, that would be great.
He's
And I
my
might be
next,
on it, because I'm just gonna be talking mad-ish.
Tito is my next wanted guest on here. Jim's
Yeah.
Booger Face is back.
VC should know.
Oh, hey, Jim. Welcome back.
Suck a D.
Now we have
VC.
the Wrong King, John, following up on this episode of Life is Strange because Monica had to go bye-bye. But we had a
Yeah.
nice, like, almost 2-hour chat with her.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah, she has to sleep and do adult things in the morning. She has responsibilities. I'm not making fun of her. I'm just saying that's what she got to do. You got responsibilities. We all got responsibilities.
Yeah, and I'm
Just-
sure a lot of people have to be in school tomorrow
Yeah.
as well, even if you are a younger age.
Yeah. So we appreciate you guys hanging out with us, but, you know,
Yeah, depending on the time zone, whatever. Like,
but definitely don't blame us if, you know, you're falling asleep in class, because, you know, that's on you.
not squared, he says, not me.
Oh. Well, feel free to hang out with us.
Yeah. We're gonna try to finish this episode. I'm trying to go quicker. I don't know. I feel like I'm going a little bit faster than last time, but I'm still trying to be thorough.
Yeah.
But the last one was like 3.5 hours. The last time I did this.
Yeah, it's pretty hefty.
Yeah, decent, you know, money's worth. Getting the money's worth.
Where's Rachel's belt?
First day junior year, I fell asleep.
Guess I'll close to Rachel now.
Squared.
But yeah, no,
If I'd known
Onimusha was definitely one of those games that I just absolutely loved. Tito and Mike, we all fell in love with those games.
I never played it.
Yeah.
And they, you know, if they come out with the remaster, I'm in there. I'm in there, fam.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's I was actually surprised when you told me that you never played Onimusha. I was like, what?
Always wanted to.
It's literally Resident Evil.
Trust me, I always wanted to.
Yeah.
It was a combination of being friggin' 14 or whatever when it came out and not having any money.
Oh, yeah.
And, what do you call it? And a friend of mine and my brother's, he was kind of one of those guys, like, if he liked something, it was like hounding everybody about it, and it turned me off from it.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't blame you.
Too. Even though it looked good, I, like, never asked him to borrow it. All he wanted to talk about was that game, and it was just not attractive to me to, like, push me to play it. I'm one of those people. Call me a hipster, whatever you want to call me. I'm like, if you're gonna keep, like, forcing something, I'm not going to watch it, or read it, or listen to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, I don't blame you at all. Because I mean, that's how I feel like about a lot of things. I mean, like, just like how, I mean, people will probably hate me if you guys watch it, but you know, I don't really care for Game of Thrones right now.
I know, and I'm waiting for Game of Thrones to be a complete series, which is going to be in the next couple years, and then I'm going to watch the whole thing. I'm going to bring it to her. The belt. Don't worry, there's nothing. You don't see anything. Ellie is homeschooled.
Oh, that's cool. I knew someone that was homeschooled.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Someone that, like, lives around here, or someone...
I want to say, so I want to say someone at my work told me that they were homeschooled, and I was actually surprised about that.
Oh, at work?
Yeah.
I always wondered what it would be like.
Well, I think from what they told me, like, their parents were already, like, teachers or whatever.
Oh, okay, that works.
I was like, wait, so I mean, can't you just, like, go to school? I mean, like, that they're teaching? I don't get it. You know?
Maybe they were teachers and maybe had a different career path or something, but are still
probably
certified to teach.
Yeah, something like that.
Or
I would
wanted to
imagine.
teach to a certain age until, like, let's say they were ready for high school or middle school. I've heard of that. Like, teach them through elementary school.
I think
that's a good choice.
High school.
'Cause elementary school, I don't know, like, to a point, it's like, you know, it's nothing that couldn't be taught at home, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, no, I think it's actually pretty cool that, was it Ellie, right?
Yeah, Ellie.
I think it's pretty cool. Because, like, I feel like I mean, like, for here, you know, I feel like a lot of the stuff in school, you know, you don't really take much with you. You know what I mean? The only thing that you really take from school is the bonds.
Yeah,
you know?
eventually. When they become, like,
That's
sort of
like
like this game, like, later on.
Yeah, it's just bonds. And if you already have friends outside of that, then, you know, more power to you. Because, like, I can't tell you, like, what I carried over from, like, you know, high school, you know, outside of history, but who talks about history?
Yeah, like, I'm not a math person or a science person. Like, to an extent, a science person, but not, like, chemistry, physics. Yeah. So I didn't retain much of that.
Yeah.
But
if anything,
of course,
like, I
history
did feel
and
that,
English.
like, the one thing that it would be worth taking would generally be math.
Yeah,
you know?
right. Like, I'm like, the stuff that actually society cares about, I wasn't good at. It didn't stop me from doing my own thing and, you know, being successful to a degree later on in college and so forth.
Right.
I mean, honestly, the fields that you need math and sciences for, I'm not interested. Honestly, it's not like they were my path.
This is a lot of makeup. That's the price of balance.
That's not what I wanted to do with my life anyway.
Right.
Not that it wouldn't be cool though.
Much better.
Two things: I'd want to be better with languages and math.
Oh, dude, I've been using this app called Duolingo. I am 11% efficient in Spanish.
Oh yeah? Are you trying
Yeah.
to like learn more?
Yeah, I'm just trying to be able to talk to like my coworkers a little bit better.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
11%.
Yeah, 11% proficient in Spanish.
God,
I know.
that 11% could save your life someday.
Sure you don't
Yeah.
want to just grab the bus?
Like,
Ellie says that they like being homeschooled.
well, that's good.
Yeah, that's always good. It
Yeah.
sounds like a good idea. I would want to do that with my children, if I had any.
Yeah.
Hey, Duolingo. M squared says.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I guess
One
you
of
have a
my
fan
favorite
of
things-
that app.
One of the things that had my coworkers cracking up was one of the sentences that I used. And it was like, soy un niño, bebo leche.
Oh, that's why you said that to me?
Yeah.
I was like, what about, you want to drink milk? What? You're-
I am a boy. I drink milk.
you're-
And my coworkers got a huge kick out of that.
I'm like, where'd you learn that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, there you go. Duolingo.
now here's a
Like,
tip. Here's a tip for all the kids watching this. First of all, Prescott is a Terminator.
Yeah.
Sean Prescott.
Yeah.
Here's a tip for anyone who's looking for completing everything that you can find in this chapter. You move
I
this
mean, that's
crate.
That's what I'm switching between right now. Like, I'm learning Spanish, and then here and there, like I'm dabbling with Japanese.
And how are you finding it?
They're really good. Like they're it's a lot of like word memorization, and in Japanese case, it's like character. It's like how the characters are written. Like if once you like know like a certain thing, like, it will be like that word.
Bye, Ellie.
It'll
Good
be,
night.
like, that pronunciation.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Ellie's going to bed.
Oh, good night, Ellie.
Human is another word for monster.
They have a lot too, surprisingly. Like it's a free app, and they have a lot of languages that you can learn. And like I was reading the reviews, and there's like a lot of recommendations. Like granted, it does benefit you to like learn from other means, but it's definitely a great place to start.
To read Huck Finn in English last year.
I might check it out, man.
I'm living
Yeah, no, it's free. Why not?
Sick.
Try it, guys, if you guys want to learn a little bit of some. Like, it helps.
Pretty sweet.
It's good stuff with the mind.
Skipping school. With Rachel. There's my chair.
No, that's cool. That's definitely an area that I've had an interest in my whole life, obviously.
Yeah.
Knowing where,
Play it cool.
where I'm coming from with my family and stuff like that.
Nervousness? Is that what
So it would be cool to be stronger in Spanish. Squared says they have tried Italian, French, etc. Didn't get very far.
Is that what
For
people
Duolingo?
I think so.
I think it's just like how, and I mean, more than anything too, it's also like you yourself, like how much you want to learn it. Because like I said, like Duolingo seems to be like a really good means of starting. But I think it also benefits to help to like kind of just throw yourself into it. I mean, it's like video games. Like if you just throw yourself into it, like you'll learn a lot for sure.
Totally. Like, speaking of which, I was playing that Gundam beta, Gundam Versus?
Oh yeah, Tito was telling me how like he said he loved it.
It's
it was,
great,
he was,
man.
He was not expecting it to be the way it was, because like they changed a lot, and it wasn't what he was expecting, and he loves it.
It was like faster Armored Core.
Yeah.
Like Armored Core on speed.
Yeah, it definitely. It looked like that. Like when I first watched it looked like Virtual On, but then like I was looking at the controls and like it's fight stick compatible. I was like, what? And then I looked at the arcades and like, yeah, the cabinets were laid out like a fight stick. I didn't know that.
That's interesting. Yeah, and Tito told me it was an arcade game.
Yeah.
I didn't know. And he was like, it's been formatted for the PS4 now. I'm like, oh, that's sick.
Good to fucking go. Anything beats another second.
Yeah, no, it looks great. Like, I wouldn't mind playing that.
No, it was interesting, man. Like, they gave you such a huge amount of Gundams to choose from.
Yeah.
Just a vast amount of characters. 94 mobile suits just in the beta.
Dude, that's amazing.
It was incredible. And, like, you can pick your little striker guy to come in, sort of like Marvel vs. Capcom, you know. You get a little extra guy to jump in there, break up a move or something, and they all do different moves, different laser beams, bazookas, the different sabers.
Yeah.
I had the guy come in with the Heat Hawk. Is that what it's called? The little tomahawk? I had him come in there and like quickly melee people. Let's flirt with Rachel. Yeah, my favorite one was probably the Ultron. Or no, not Ultron, the Epion. Epion would do like maybe 4 different swings with the saber.
Yeah.
He'd jump in so quickly and start slashing the hell out of people. And while they were getting slashed, I would jump in and combo them.
The Epion was such a cool Gundam, just thinking about it.
Excellent. Do you remember who was the main pilot?
Are you talking about,
What was his name? The slick-looking, politician?
You're thinking of, because there was multiple pilots for the,
Sounds fun.
For Tall Geese 2.
Yeah, there was Tall Geese 2, and Tall Geese 3.
Yeah, and Epion.
And then the Epion. The Epion was piloted by Zex.
There was Zex, but also...
I was born in New York, the land of fashion and...
You're thinking of Trey's.
Trace... Was that the Kush Renata guy?
Yeah, Trey's Kush Renata, yeah.
That was him?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was the one that piloted the Tall Geese, and then
Tall Geese
willingly...
2, right?
Yeah. Huh?
Tall Geese 2.
Trey's was the pilot of Tall Geese 2, yeah.
Okay, yeah, they had it right, yeah.
And then, Zex, who becomes Miliardo, piloted Tall Geese 3.
When he removes the mask, right?
Yeah, when he broke his mask, he ended his relationship with Trey's. And then, what made it so cool was that in the Endless Waltz OVA, like, Tall Geese 3 had all the best aspects of Tall Geese and Epion.
He's great.
Yeah. If there's anything that I would main, it would be Tall Geese 3. It was such a sick-looking friggin' Gundam.
Hamza, I need to tell you something important. What is it? You guys ready for Red Dead Redemption 2?
Dude, no questions asked.
Oh, sign me up, fam.
Dude, I mean, now if there is one thing that like just resonated with me in terms of like story in a video game, definitely Red Dead, man.
So good.
Red Dead never made me hurt so bad. It made me hurt up until freaking, and I felt nothing until they brought over Walking Dead. So that tells you a lot.
Hamza, that's a really funny way to troll, but I already played through it, so you're not really spoiling it for me, man. Good try though.
to want to be a pirate when I grow up.
I don't get it. Those times are like,
Yeah.
like I don't even understand. Like, all right.
I love science.
Science, that's hard to believe.
Seriously, I think Neil deGrasse Tyson is the shit. Huh.
What do you think I should do?
You know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You're a good mod, dude. I gotta tell you.
Come on, man. We're just trying to have fun. You don't need to try to ruin it for everyone else.
Guitarist of a
It's alright.
Misfits cover band called the Misfits. Impressive.
Dude, the multiplayer is sick in Red Dead.
Hella mysterious, Chloe Price.
Oh yeah, no. Tell me about it.
I didn't make it too far
It's a cat.
when I first played it because I had to give it back to Ryan.
I think I have your
Right.
And then the PlayStation Network came back. That was during the blackout
Swash.
Yeah.
back on the PS3 when I was getting into it, and I 100%ed the single player because I was so bored.
So, pirate.
That
And
is
I couldn't play Black Ops online, so I 100%ed Red Dead and didn't get too involved in the multiplayer as much as I wanted to. But I do have the Game of the Year edition. I bought it a few years ago.
Actually, now that we have a couple of viewers, that actually kind of squared it. I think talking about multiplayer in Red Dead Redemption, let me tell you about our friend Tito. Tito was probably, he's the best multiplayer player for Red Dead I've ever seen in my life. Like, you know how, so Red Dead, you know how, like, for the most part, it was kind of like what Grand Theft Auto 5 multiplayer is, more or less, where, like, it's just kind of like free roam.
Yeah.
Like, there was a whole bunch of people just shooting each other. And, Tito, like, he was, like, low level, so he gets, like, a mule. All he gets is a mule, and he rides on that. So he was getting ganged up on. It was, like, a good shootout for, like, a couple of minutes. And, after a while, he was starting to get surrounded, so he started to try to move. So the first thing he does is call over his mule and hides behind his mule as he's getting shot at. So his mule just gets lit up. The moment that the mule died, he'd call another one.
Oh my god.
I should be dying. Who does stuff like that?
Tito, like, oh my
Only a
god.
psychopath would do something like that.
Dude, between the two of us, we would cheese the hell out of that game, I feel.
Man.
Because I've done some cheesy stuff, as you've seen.
Yeah, for sure.
Like in Friday the 13th. Not glitching, but just cheesing. Just exploiting stuff they actually put in the game.
I mean, like, that's what, like, that, I mean, again, it's like another topic in video games. Is like, to me, I'm not having fun until I exploited the game.
Yeah.
Like, and it, obviously it's like within reason, like, you know, with it being reasonable.
Yeah,
like,
to like exploit what they've done, what they've given you.
Mhm.
That's okay. Like, in my book, as long as it's not a glitch or something malicious to other people, I think Tito's way of doing that is an exploit, and it's great. I think it's a viable strategy. The gangs in the lobby. Squared said, "Brother, I would be pissed off by the gangs in the lobby."
It's alright. We got what you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean, like, I know, like, stuff like, like, Dying Light was, like, a pretty recent example of an exploit, where, what you did is you craft, like, the strongest weapon, and then you throw, I forgot, like, what was the process, like, you throw it, throw it, pause, and then unequip it. So right off the bat, you have two of those strong items. Because like the game registered as you throwing the item and you also dropping it. So originally you had one, but all of a sudden you now have two. And it was easily exploitable because like I forgot what it was like. I think like this thing was like the pick hammer or something like that. It was like something mad strong, and like you would wipe through the first half of Dying Light easy with just like that exploit, and like and you could exploit it indefinitely until you were like loaded in your inventory.
I feel like they should just give that game out by now.
Huh?
I feel like they should start giving that game out as like a free thing.
Oh yeah.
By now.
Because Dead Island was garbage. I mean, I'm sorry to anyone that liked Dead Island, but I didn't like it at all.
Nah, man. I'm glad I bought that as a discounted game.
Yeah, and
not for me.
But dude, oh man, Dying Light did everything right. It was such a good game, man.
The throwing knives were OP, Squared says.
Oh yeah. But yeah, no, definitely worth playing Dying Light. I would love to see a part 2. I would prefer a Dying Light before another Dead Island any day. Because they just did everything right.
I feel like it not only looked better, it looked like it played better.
Oh, it played way better, dude. Because like think
more
like
open world.
Think of like the mobility of like Mirror's Edge, where you can like run on walls and do all sorts of like parkour anime nonsense.
Just the verticality of it. It was more realistic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Going upward in buildings.
Oh yeah.
Broken down buildings and stuff.
It also didn't hurt that Chris Redfield's voice actor was the main character, so I just imagined it was Chris Redfield.
Gumball's back. Hello, it's Gumball. I'm back. Are you guys actually still going? Wow, that's cool. Yes, I am. I'm going to try to complete this whole episode. Monica had to go to sleep because she has adult things to do.
Also, I love the Gumball cartoon. It's great. Really good cartoon.
Let's jump. F it. Gumball Watterson.
Don't do it, Chloe. Think about your basketball career. Well, there you go. Never mind.
Don't do it. I agree. It is a good cartoon. Gumball says.
Good funny. Good stuff.
Since you know.
Of course I know. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I don't watch cartoons.
Oh, yeah. Couple old guys here.
Yeah, I'm just mad immature still.
We're at a unique age, I'd say, because we grew up with like low tech to high tech. Wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah.
We in such a rapid succession. Like, God, 20 years ago, I was watching things on tape. You know?
Dude, I mean, like, I can't even imagine how like people that are older than us feel.
Oh
Dude,
yeah.
Did I tell you, like, one of my oldest customers that I've met? She was born in 1918, dude.
What?
Yeah.
That's the
crazy. This like nice old British lady.
1918.
Thank you, darling.
Oh my
Not
goodness.
authentic. Born in 1918.
Nearly 100 years old.
Yeah. Like, she was there for it all, man.
I do know Rachel loses her gumballs. Yes. In a manner of speaking.
So far, what I've learned about you is that you're into acting, lying,
This is my second and a quarter playthrough, I'd say, because I did do a little bit of collector mode to get the graffiti that I missed.
Is collector mode like more freeform?
You just play until you get the graffiti and leave, basically.
Oh, that's cool.
And you have no, you don't suffer any consequences of, like, overriding anything. Any of your choices. They don't affect your main save.
Mm-hmm.
which is a cool feature, and I wish The Last of Us implemented that, because one time I played through it, and then I tried to do a playthrough of, what was it, like the Grounded, and I tried to go to Grounded Plus, and then it basically erased a playthrough. It wasn't like anything crazy, but it erased a lot of, like, let's say the beginning chapter of the game.
Right.
It erased that completely. I'm like, how are you supposed to just continue with this game? I don't know. I cannot technology. No, I'm not that old, I swear, but it was just stupid.
Oh, that reminds me. I got a chance to do a full heist in Grand Theft Auto.
Wait, you got a chance to do what?
I got a chance to do a full heist in Grand Theft Auto online.
It feels so rewarding.
Dude, it's so good because I was playing with Scary, Carrie, and his friend Griff, and dude, it's so freaking fun.
Gumball says quarterless, with all spaces between the letters.
Really killed it with this statue of an explorer guy. Where are all my explorer buddies
Is that something I'm missing?
Blackwall guy sure liked finding stuff that was
Am I that old?
founders keepers, I guess.
Am I out of the loop with the latest memes?
Well, you're not the only one because I'm also kind of out of the loop. You're gonna have to fill me in on that one, Gumball.
Oh, I'm gonna sit down and ponder my favorite thing to do in this game. Yes!
Just a day in the park.
So high energy.
Rachel Amber.
High
No.
energy, low energy.
I'm gonna ask you, John, have you had a weird time hanging out with somebody like this? Like Rachel? Like where you never expected to hang out, and you hung out with them?
Until pretty soon you're psyching yourself out and then everything turns to shit.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, good eye, Gumball. I didn't even notice. In terms of hanging out with someone, that was like Rachel, I want to say...
Or not even like Rachel, but I'm just saying like this situation, how Chloe didn't expect to hang out with somebody.
I mean, honestly, I want to say... I want to say probably just like that group of seniors that I mentioned earlier. Honestly,
Yeah.
I just didn't see myself hanging out with them because they just seemed a bunch of cool guys, you know? And it was pretty cool that they brought me along, you know, to just like into their escapades. So, I mean, we didn't really get into like anything like crazy per se, but you know, they were really into like cars and stuff. So like, you know, they showed me like all just like that whole world of just like cars.
Oh, they're gearhead type guys?
Yeah, and you know, it's cool, and you know, and more than anything, we all like, you know, joked around. Like we all had the same taste in humor and stuff. So they were cool. They were great guys. Still definitely great guys to this day. Haven't spoke to them that much, but you know, obviously they hold a special place in my heart. Great guys. But yeah, no, like, at least like that's how I see it, is like me just being like, you know, obviously like fresh into high school. I'm only in my second year, so
Yeah.
obviously, you know, you can't help but feel like there's like a kind of like a clique already, you know. So it was cool hanging out with like a bunch of seniors, you know. Like they welcomed me with open arms. Obviously they would tease me because I was so young, but they were all still cool people. And then there was also my friend JP,
Oh,
my friend Sion's brother.
yeah.
Like, he was a skater dude, and like, you know, obviously there's like a bunch of stoners and what have you. And then, you know, again, that's not really my thing, but you know, it just kind of opened a whole different world for me, you know. And you know, they're all cool in their own way.
It was an unlikely friendship, but it just
Right.
happened.
Right, exactly.
That's just kind of how life is. Like, I feel like people are missing out who don't have this kind of thing happen in their life.
Mhm.
And we'll see. You know, some of the people might be a little young who haven't
you
had
know-
that happen, but
You're not wrong, Gumball.
you know, you'll think back. I remember PewDiePie liked Life is Strange, but when this one came out, he titled this video on it, The Cringe Continues.
I totally did that. I totally did what Chloe did too. You're so dead. What about my so dead? What are you talking about? Grammar Nazi.
Oh yeah, this guy, that was his brother that was picking on Nathan.
I mean, the people are really cringy. You know, I mean, it's just like the whole thing with like Hamza or whatever, like trying to spoil it and just kind of like ruin our fun. You know, it's just like
that was
like,
stupid of him.
Like, alright, man, you're just like, I mean, it's like the, you know, you're trying to be like edgy or cool or whatever you want to call it. You know,
I need to
just
tell you something important. I'm going to
And then,
tell
you
you the end of the chapter, even though this guy already played it.
Persistence.
Yeah. Like, you have nothing to gain to be like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was stupid.
It's like, what, for like your quick moment
Yeah.
of fame?
Just gonna get my jollies, gonna make everyone lol in the chat. Lol. I'm not an old man or anything, but the internet now is
You're
about
like
people trying to be
a
edgy.
10-year-old cat that's brother is a goldfish.
And that's you know, that's what this channel is just gonna be. I just want it to be a space to enjoy games, like
Yeah.
whatever, man,
Like,
to hang out.
I do feel that people do try to be edgy and stuff, and it's not like I don't like appreciate that kind of humor.
I stand in awe of your
I guess in the sense of like, you know, if you're doing it ironically, like being edgy ironically, like I get it, it's funny, you know. But then there's like at the same time, it's kind of like it's really like with any sense of humor, you know, it's just kind of like it's all about the delivery.
Jasmine? Is she smelling me right now too?
Yeah,
Really should have showered this morning.
get
Yeah,
into
we're
the
on a
game.
tirade. I'm sorry, Gumball. Let's talk
Sorry,
about
Gumball.
Let's talk about Blidio Bames.
Blidio blames. I love Blidio blames.
How to spot someone's a fake gamer.
Or as some people I know would call it, video games.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you say we barbecue some squirrels when we're done?
No, I mean, it's there's nothing. You're not ruining anything. You know, like I said, we like playing games. That is our thing. We'll talk about games, but if for whatever reason, if there's a good topic, you know, that you want to talk about, I mean, we'll talk about whatever. You know.
Yeah, and the podcast format, as I stated, I just want to like get into the game a little bit more and talk about it with people, and not just like let's just joke on the whole thing. You know?
Yeah, no, I'm all about riffing stuff too. You know.
Yeah,
There's nothing
that's
wrong.
fun. We'll do that here and there. We do that. True. But it's not all I'm trying to be edgy the whole time.
Yeah. It's all fun with me. Like, I have no problems, you know, like,
Thou shalt make a burnt offering of your firstborn son.
Who are you talking to, Dad?
what if they sequeled some of the GTA stories, like San
Oh, dude, I
Andreas?
would love that.
Like, are you talking about, like, a GTA 5, like Los Santos stories? That type of deal? Or Vice City stories? And,
Perfect.
Oh man, they should do that.
don't worry about it,
Yeah,
Gumball.
you good, man. You good.
We got our own brand of philosophy.
Let's see.
Honestly, like, as much as I like the GTA Online games, like GTA Online, they definitely do a lot for you. You know, and granted, like, everything costs an arm and a leg. Because, you know, they definitely want you to buy those shark cards, and you don't have to, you know. I would prefer a plot. And not to say that the online games have, like, a plot. Like, they don't have a plot, because, like, each, you know, mission has their own general, like, their stories, you know. But, my issue is that, like, I don't feel like I'm, like, getting anywhere, you know. Like, I think that's why, like, as much as I love games like Dark Souls or any, you know, stuff like that, like, me personally, I kind of prefer an established character. You know,
Yeah.
like that's always been like my kind of thing where, like, I love, you know, like characters are who they are. It's like, you know, I like, you know, what's his name, playing as Lewis in Liberty City Stories and stuff like that, or you know, playing as like, you know, Johnny Klebitz, even though he bites the dust like right away in the opening of GTA 5. Spoilers, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like characters like those, you know, like, you know, I like established characters. You know, they have like a really strong ground already.
Like the Ballad of Gay Tony was such a deep side story. It's its own game. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, that's great.
I was putting hours into that and still not done with it. I still haven't finished it to this day.
No, like Gumball, I'm totally with you. Like,
Yeah,
those
Red Dead.
teaser trailers for Red RDR2, man.
Oh,
Oh,
my
man,
goodness.
just, like so pumped. Like, I would like to see like a,
Hell yeah.
you know, like a Magnificent Seven like type plot. Like, I know that like some people like didn't really like the whole character switching with GTA 5, but I liked it. You know, I definitely like that they showed different aspects and why these characters are motivated to do the things they do. I just like stories where they intertwine, like stuff like that. Like, I just always like, I've always been really into, you know, even if the characters themselves were not like main characters, or like, you know, they served like a pivotal role, you know.
The character switching is great.
Yeah, no, it's great. I have no problem with it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I like the aspects too, because like, I mean, me personally, like, I loved Franklin. Like, Franklin was easily my favorite character, and that's just me kind of like living in that world. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I lived in the ghetto for a while in my younger days, so like I kind of get it. You know. So it's just like something I was used to. But then I also appreciate, like, you know, the whole, like, what would Michael be called? Like, considered like a white collar criminal, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like, I do like those aspects of, like, I like the aspects of villains in their circumstances. Villains of circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor a lot. It was humorous. Trevor.
And,
Yeah, but also then Trevor, it's like you really feel like he is betrayed, though. Spoiler.
Right. Like, because like the whole shtick with
And he has a heart. It turns out, and he can have feelings.
right, he's just beyond saving though, because it's just like some of like the most absurd, like, brutal things that he did. But at the very least, he's honest and he's always straightforward. You know, like what you see is what you get with him. And even though obviously, like, that's, I mean, I don't go out, you know, just like, you know, eating stuff out of the trash and whatnot. But I do kind of like that character. I kind of feel like I'm like that, like in real life, where like what you see is what you get. You know, you're just kind of like honest. And it's just honest living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely the most relatable for me too. Like,
Yeah.
come on, who's living in a mansion and all that, you know?
Like, you
Or
know,
living in, like, I'm not living in the trailer park in the desert, and I'm not a psychopath.
yeah.
So Franklin is like just this dude caught in the middle of all this craziness.
Yeah.
He literally fell into it.
Okay, fine. I'm going. But when the police show up,
Oh yeah, no. I mean, the whole shtick with Wade is just great.
ever heard of it?
I mean, because quite frankly, I just don't like ICP. You know, like.
Yeah.
And not because it's like the cool thing. It's just I don't understand. Like it's hype. But it was pretty funny, just like watching him like just bully the piss out of Wade. But then, like, again, that's like also another interesting aspect of Trevor. Is just like how he intimidates. It's kind of like his own way of like, you know, grow a set. You know, because like all the characters that like
Good work, everyone.
all the characters that like have the balls to stand up to him, like he'll for the most part Trevor will back off, you know. Right, yeah, no, that was a pretty good part. And then it was just like, he punches him, he's like, what do you mean? And he's like, you know, and then he tells him like the whole thing with Michael DeSanta. And then he punches him again. It's like, well, why didn't you just, you know, like, why didn't you just tell me that to begin with? I do like Trevor, like I mean, definitely one of his, a lot of his dialogue is just very authentic, despite him being so crazy. Like the whole, like the one scene that just had me in tears was when he was trying to be cool, when he showed up at Franklin's house.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He just trips over the fence. Like it's so authentic. Like that just had me dying for like hours. And honestly, like in terms of like a side story for GTA, I would love a Lamar story. Because Lamar is just easily my favorite character, hands down.
No, he's hilarious. He talks so fast and says so much crap.
Like when he disses on Franklin, it's just pure gold.
Oh, true. Yeah, true.
You know, like when he just straight up like just blew up Franklin's spot and tell him he got that yee ass haircut.
Dude, he's right. GTA 5 is a top seller every single month. Every month.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why like that's the kind of like the thing that kind of upsets me about like GTA, where like it's so popular now. It's so popular, and like all the DLC is all free, and I'm cool with that.
I'm just overwhelmed though.
I don't want to come off as like I'm complaining or anything, but it's just like, you know, like because of like them making so much money from just pumping out this online, it's like, well, why bother making a side story, you know? So, I mean, it's just kind of, you know, it's kind of like, you know, they're just running it until GTA 6 at this point, or not GTA 6, but like RDR2.
Oh, Red Dead, you know, that's just going to be the new one. Everyone's just going to jump on that.
You have fun, Chloe.
Yeah, I mean, I played let's see how many times. Like, I played GTA 5 on the 360. I played it again on the PS3. I played it again on the PS4.
Yep.
I've beaten it 7 times now.
7
and then
times?
I recently, I beat it 7 times.
Wow.
I've heard that actors
Yeah.
are moody, but
I only beat it once
I'm not moody.
on the PS3.
I just need
Yeah, no, dude, I beat it 7 times, and like when I bought it again on sale for my PC,
Actually,
yeah, no, like I played it again. I just played it again, and it's just like the GTA games are just like, for some reason, like those are like the games where like I just love playing, and like it just feels like I'm not like, because like, you know how like when you play like certain games for a while, you know, it feels kind of redundant. But then for some reason, GTA 5 just does not feel redundant with me.
Just screw around for hours. Yeah, that's how we were with 4. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
With GTA 4, we would do the missions like crazy.
Dude, I mean, like one of the best things that I love doing in GTA 5, and that's just me being a bit of like a gearhead, is like just tuning the cars.
Oh yeah, man.
Like even though like my whole thing with like complaining about like the whole game being too like grippy in terms of driving, it is pretty like realistic for the most part, and I do appreciate the way that the game controls in terms of driving. You know, like it's really precise.
It is, and it's a lot better than 4, as we've discussed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like GTA 4's like driving was like slippery for all the wrong reasons.
But 5 is just so deep. Have you won enough races to customize like fully?
Oh yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah.
On some of your vehicles.
Oh yeah, dude.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I was so deeply invested into it in terms of like just the driving.
EA daddy and the perfect grades and all the perfect little Victoria
And
kissing your perfect
yeah, no, like GTA 5 is still one of like my perfect games. Honestly, I mean, like people will like, like they'll look at me funny when like they'll tell me like what's my favorite series of all time, and people would expect me to say shit like Final Fantasy. No, GTA, man. GTA, like all
GTA
the
takes
way.
the cake, huh?
And GTA every time, man.
because
3 was one of the greatest games ever.
Yeah.
Totally revolutionary.
And what is this exactly?
Once I took a guy's car onto the tallest building with a helicopter,
Actually going to make
I didn't destroy it. I just made it really hard to get.
Ugh.
Like that, and see, like those are like to me, like those are like the most like the most enjoyable form of trolling,
It's just
where like
today was
it's not like, I mean, obviously it does feel like a little malicious, but like
It's like you're not really hurting them.
it's so well thought out.
It's
Like
just
you can't really be
inconvenient.
bad,
made me
you know?
realize
You're just inconveniencing them.
right? Yeah.
whatever's going on
It would be
today
dope if GTA had a continued story. It would be more interesting. Yeah, if like,
Yeah.
they interlinked it more.
Say something.
I definitely agree with you, man.
Like at this point, 4 and 5 are different, right?
Really sorry.
Aren't
Yeah.
they totally separate now?
In terms of what,
Like continuity?
4 and 5 are in the same universe.
They are in the same universe. It really
Um,
just didn't feel like it.
It didn't feel like it because of like, yeah, it's just like how like much of a jump
It's so disconnected, man.
4 to 5 was. It was a big of a jump. It was so big of a jump. Like if anything, like I mean, it's confirmed that the PS2 era
It's all
and
gone.
and what they call GTA 4 and 5 and all the side stories, the HD universe,
Yes.
like they're alternate universes. Yeah.
But I mean, by the time a 6 one comes out, what's that going to be? The 4K universe? You know?
Pretty
Where's-
much.
And then they're just going to, abandon everything that happened in 5. Goodbye.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Hopefully not.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's, for years people have wanted Tommy Vercetti to come back, CJ to come back now. Why don't they do it? They should really just do it.
No, it would be great. I mean, I would love to see Los Santos stories.
Oh,
Or,
this is a little more hidden graffiti, right? You smash this.
Yeah.
Smash it down. You smash it down good.
Oh, come on, Chloe. You could have definitely got more
And
swing off of
hit
that.
this. You hit these after, right? And it gets the paint all over it. Tips and tricks, people. Subscribe. And then you graffiti. Tips and tricks.
Does Chloe say
Subscribe, like
that?
the video.
Did Chloe say that her bat is a vampire bat?
2010, John. 2010.
Yeah.
A little bit before the Walking Dead puns could happen.
Oh yeah, that's true. meta puns.
Just a few years.
Yeah, and they do, like, Nico is, I mean, GTA 4 for all its, like, flaws and stuff, it's still,
I like this part.
GTA 4 is what GTA 3 is to me, like, now,
You can't take your eyes off
where, I mean, like, GTA 3, like, I like that game, I probably can't play it again,
Rachel.
but, like, Nico does resonate with me, like, he's such a,
If you wanna
probably one of, like, my favorite characters of all time, too,
bring the proper tools.
you know?
Definitely. I
'Cause,
liked
like,
him because you were coming up from, like, literally the gutter.
yeah.
You were coming up from... It was such a different perspective. You were just getting into the country.
Right, so yeah, we do know that, like, for the most part, Nico is fine.
Never understood your heart.
And I mean, when you have Packy join the crew and how he went quiet and stuff, I like to personally think that he, after whatever happened in GTA 4, whatever endings happened, Um, he just said, you know what, I can't do this, man. I just have to like live a legit lifestyle.
Oh,
You know?
GTA 4 is like one of the most tragic games as well.
Yeah. Again, I mean, like GTA 4 also definitely like made me feel like for those characters.
Definitely.
Like Rockstar was pulling some really dark stories.
At that time, yeah, everything was sad ending.
Cousin, it is your cousin.
A couple years right there with Red Dead and 4.
Yeah.
It was
and
like,
then Max Payne. And then Max Payne, too.
Yeah, and Max Payne, too, when that came out. Or 3.
Like Max Payne, like, there was, like a bit of a silver lining.
A little bit, but like, it still sucked how everybody basically died.
Right, but, you know, at the same time, it was nice seeing Max as, like, it was nice seeing Max as, like, hey, you know what? You're only human, man. There's only so much you could do. Even though he's not human, because he's an amazing gunman.
Dude, you know how happy I was when I got all the DLC for that and they had Mona?
Yeah.
Mona Sachs in that?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was just bringing back so many memories.
I honestly wish that they actually had, like, a very hard alternate ending for that, for Max Payne 3, too.
Yes. But they
wouldn't that have been nice?
Of course they have to go with the bad endings.
Yeah. You know? I mean, like, Max Payne was, like, essentially Daredevil. Like, all his loved ones getting killed and shit, you know?
Yeah. Just really put through the ringer.
You feel bad, man. You just feel bad. You feel for Max, man. He was hurting.
If you haven't played those, definitely play them. Anybody watching.
Yeah.
Don't watch me, go play Max Payne.
If there's anything I would love for Rockstar to do right about now, I would love to see remastered versions of Max Payne 1 and 2 with the Max Payne 3 gunplay. Like, I would love that more than anything. Wouldn't you agree?
What with the Max Payne? I'm sorry, I was reading. Gumball.
I would love a remake of Max Payne 2 and 3.
Oh.
I mean, Max 1 and 2 with Max Payne 3 and gunplay.
Are you kidding? Oh my god. If they remastered those or something, I'd be all over those, man.
Oh no, honestly, Gumball, the characters are pretty cringy in terms of like some of the things that they do say, but it is a sad story. It's a really compelling story. You know, if you can forgive it for like some of like the cheesy voice acting and stuff. I mean, not even the voice acting, because I think the voice acting is fine. It's great, but some of the stuff they do say are really rough around the edges. But at the same time, you have to remember that these are characters that are kind of like outcast. So they would be saying things that would be that you would think is cool, but it's not really all that cool.
Yeah, that's why they're so awkward.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna pause here. I think this is a good place to end it. I'm gonna continue the game, but I'm gonna pause for a second. But thank you for joining me, John. All right? I'll see you, man. Hey. We comfy. Phone was about to die. Okay. Alright, this is a tricky one. Let's see if I remember.
What's past is prologue and
You have to look.
Kiddo, look on the bright side, would ya?
what bright side?
You made a new friend today.
Wrong King is the guy who was on the phone. Yep. So you can continue.
Hey, where's my map? Oh, there it is.
Gotta say, that was some fight. A lover's...
Oh, I never played those. Saints Row?
She nearly took your head off.
What do you care?
Sorry, sweetheart. I guess I'm getting into your personal business.
Yeah, other times. Definitely, we're gonna have them on other episodes.
Dad used to hate it when I wrote on shit.
Excellent. Excellent, Gumball.
Sleep is for the weak. I guess I did that.
Sometimes people need you, though.
You're right, William. Yeah, for sure.
They don't admit it.
We're kind of just a channel away from the noise. Let's put it that way. Oh yeah, likewise, man.
Rachel!
And this is what I want to do, just open a dialogue about games. Definitely. It was definitely like, this experience was so much better than the last time. Yeah, Tito will be the next guest, and he can definitely talk on the same level. Oh, thanks. You're definitely part of that attention right now. You're in on the ground floor. Oh man, that's amazing. Thank you. See, that bird is like her butterfly. Like how Max had the butterfly in the first game. It's just like this repeated symbol.
Okay. I'm glad. Hey. I couldn't let the day end with whatever this afternoon was. Chloe, I want to talk to you about something, but
It had good driving.
I don't know how to talk about this. You don't have to tell me anything you don't want to. You remember that guy that we saw under this tree with that woman? The ones who were making out?
Heading forward on your path.
Alright.
It did lead her this way.
That woman was definitely not my mom. Oh. The worst part is I'm not surprised. I felt like my dad been lying about something for a while. I didn't know what it was. So when I saw he got a text from an unknown number asking him to meet, I thought I could catch him or something. I'm so sorry, Rachel. I don't know what to say. Neither do I. Chloe, I love my dad. I love him. And I never want to see
Thanks for saying hi in the chat.
again. When my dad died, I was so mad at him. For months, I felt wrong because half the time I thought of him, I wanted to scream. And the other half, I forgot. Forgot that anything had changed. It's silly, but I've carried this photo around with me for years. It's from Mount Hood. My dad took me hiking there when I was
Did it
10.
glitch?
It started raining, and I fell and broke my arm 3 miles from the car. I remember screaming like I was going to die, but my dad, he carried me down the mountain. I still remember the smell of his coat, and how calm he was, and the sound of his voice, and he was just so strong, you know? I felt safe. You trusted him. Completely. Here. Chloe, I owe you an apology.
See right there with her understanding about trusting someone and feeling betrayed. It's like Chloe has she has a kid's understanding of that with her Max situation, with feeling betrayed and trusting Max. Where Rachel seems to be like she pushes off your comfort. She's like not a kid in a way.
Hey, we were both kind of a queen of shitty. No.
That's okay. There's a whole part in
Whatever's going on
the first game where it looks like Max is supposed to be talking, but she doesn't open her mouth.
awesome, and
They
you
haven't
had
fixed it.
the courage to tell me that you feel it too. And I treated you like shit. Courage? I don't know if I'd call it that. More like blind desperation. And maybe a slight buzz from that wine.
Ooh, that was good wine.
I just want you to know I'm lucky that you were with me today. You're a badass, Chloe Price.
What?
Remember that biker asshole who wouldn't let you into the mill? You talked your way right past him.
You saw that? And those skeevy douchebags who followed you upstairs?
Yeah, and it's then you just get caught in the cycle of trying to push yourself to hate them, though.
At the last minute, and
What about Drew? One who's picking on Nathan? You got right in his face and called him out.
that was pretty sweet.
And do you let it consume you, you know?
See?
Or do you let it go finally?
Real thing, Chloe.
It is. Forgiveness is tough.
Know anyone like you.
It's harder.
You came along with me, no questions asked.
Well, I don't really need a good reason to ditch school.
I guess tomorrow there'll be hell to pay.
My mom might skip grounding and just go straight to the death penalty.
And my dad will definitely punish me.
Oh, for sure, man. So much easier to blame everybody else. Or even blame yourself. Than to actually just come to grips with it.
Fuck your dad.
Fuck him.
And I wouldn't give to leave this place any other way.
And push forward.
What's stopping us?
Us?
Are you serious? There's nothing keeping me here. Not anymore.
So, if I came to you tomorrow and told you to pack your bags,
I'm serious. Let's do it, Chloe. Let's leave this place forever.
okay.
Can I borrow your lighter? Thank you.
That's the risk of actually being a good person, is you open yourself up to be hurt.
Come on.
No, that's awful. When someone isn't who you thought they were. Yeah, there's supposed to be dramatic music, but copyright claims. I'm not going through it again. Like, even this jock dude, he's a good big brother. Not everyone is how they treat other people. You know, you couldn't totally judge them. Yeah. Who is this woman? Theories. Theories, please. And that's it. Episode 1 in the books again. I put myself through this. Oh. Let's see. I've made some different choices. Coming soon. My favorite date. Coming soon. I was kind to Joyce. I defended Nathan for some weird reason. Yeah, who is the thought? Comment below. Oh yeah, we're more than just friends. I took that money. I took it. Even split. I didn't buy pot. Instead, I gave the money to Joyce. Because I'm a good guy. Soon. Oh, Skip's demo was good. Finished the tabletop game. Mm-hmm. Any friends playing this? No, none of my friends are playing this because I'm not cool. Oh yeah, this next one looks crazy. No, we're still good. Brave New World. I already did collector mode, so we are good. Oh, that's weird, man. So we are solid with episode 1. We're completely done. I made alternate choices. And look at that fire just burning that forest. That's pretty cool. Yeah, coming soon. You were spot on. But thanks for joining me, man. And everybody who joined. Squared, Ellie, Gumball, a few other people from Portugal and Italy and all over the world. It was good times. John, thanks for picking up the slack on the left that I would have had left behind for the podcast. And again to Monica, who is long gone to bed, for being the main guest. Thanks so much. I'm glad everybody seemed to enjoy themselves. We got in some deep discussions. And that's kind of what I want to get around this game. Yeah? Encore? Do you want more? We're gonna play it again. We're gonna go for a third playthrough. Let's go. No, we are good. Thank you. John, no, dude. You've done more than enough. thanks for joining. And we are going to follow up. We're going to play the next episode as soon as it comes out. We're going to do multiple playthroughs again. We're going to do podcast. We're going to do everything we can. And usually I'm on Friday the 13th, like every single day. So if you like that game, you can subscribe for that. Loved it when the fire department went to my school. They always would give us a call. Watch it over and over. But yeah. Mixtape mode. I'm not going to bother doing this because the copyright strikes from the music are ridiculous. But yeah, any last words from anybody? Since I'm done. Okay. Good night, John. Thanks, man. Alright, good night. Mickey, bye. Gumball, when is the next time you stream? Oh man, probably tomorrow. Like I said, usually Friday the 13th is my game. But I'm going to be starting Infamous because that was free and it looks good. So we will start that. Hell, I might even start it tomorrow. Why not? Or whenever anybody's free. I don't care. Whatever's good for everybody. Alright. Well, I will see everybody on either Infamous or Friday the 13th very soon. Thanks so much. I'm gonna end her now. Friend Michael bought it. Got annoyed that it's free now. Yeah, a lot of people were saying that. I saw that. A lot of people were pissed. But, alright. I guess we'll see you on Infamous or Friday the 13th. And we are going to cut the broadcast. And thanks again to everybody who joined. Have a good night, folks.